All right, everybody, we're live. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I haven't started drinking yet, but I'm going to start right now. I don't know what everybody's beer of choice is, but picked this up yesterday. I don't know if you see it. No green beer. It's from Sloop Brewing. It's a New England IPA.
No beer here.
Yeah, I'm doing the Mountain Dew today.
Yeah, that's all right. You should be having green Mountain Dew, though.
Chocolate peanut butter porter.
Hang on.
That
Wait.
one.
Not a beer
ASMR.
James.
ASMR for you. Yeah, I've got about 4 of these. I brought 2 down with me for now, so gotta pour it on cam.
Derek,
Never had.
Throttle Fiend says he's logging in now.
Yeah, I just dropped the log earlier, so we're ready to go. Hopefully, I won't have to drop a log during the stream, like last time.
Glad you clarified
That's
that.
all right.
Is that what happened?
I'm glad you clarified the steaminess of that.
Yeah. Hey, this is not PG-13 here. We should know that by now.
We're only a minute in, so yeah, just keep this.
I don't know why it's saying live. It's saying live 4 seconds. Are we behind or something?
I'm seeing a minute 15.
I don't see it
It
live.
says live.
Yeah, for some reason, mine on the screen it says live 13 seconds. That's weird. Maybe it went to commercial. What the hell?
Blackfeet Ryan's right. Mine says a minute and 22 now. I'm counting.
Yeah, it's going.
That's weird. Yeah, for some reason it's
Where are
not
you reading
playing
that
on
at?
If you go to the
Watch.
actual YouTube channel and go to the far left side of that red line, that's the timeline. So go to the left side above the pause button, and it will tell you how long. It's the minus number is the. You got to hover over the very end of the red line.
I see.
All right, we got 5 watching. For some reason, I'm looking at the StreamYard. I'm looking at the StreamYard one. It says live over a minute, which is weird.
Yeah. And it's
Yours live on StreamYard mine says 2:10 right now.
Yeah,
I don't even have my camera up. I don't know what's up.
Yeah, you're showing up here. You're showing up here on the StreamYard, but not.
But I can tell you that since I've been doing there's tech. There's Ryan. Okay, come on, Derek. But anyway, since we've been hosting those workshops.
There you go.
In the Facebook content creator group for season 3, I've noticed between StreamYard and Facebook and StreamYard and YouTube, there has been a significant latency lagging issue from what I'm seeing in the green room of StreamYard versus what I see on YouTube or in the Facebook workshop. I mean, it's the delay is like probably 10 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds. It's kind of crazy to me.
I want to try leaving and coming back.
All right.
I don't know what's
your camera's not working?
Yeah, it's working. I mean, I'm on the StreamYard right now.
Yeah, for some reason you're not on YouTube though.
I'm not on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't even see you on StreamYard. I see a dark screen.
Yeah,
Really?
same.
No, I see him. I see him here.
Oh
no, he's frozen though. Yeah, he's frozen on my screen.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Leaving and coming back.
That might be what it is.
I don't know what the hell's going on in my YouTube on my phone. Hang on. Yeah, says we're live on there. Technical difficulties today.
I wish you all a happy St. Patty's Day. Huh? Nice. It's almost as bad as patio chair, patio furniture, and all those.
Oh, it could have been Pat McGurkin, but somebody probably wouldn't have liked that one too much.
I couldn't figure out how to change mine.
It's still.
I tried to go in and adjust it, and I didn't figure out how to do it.
Yeah, good job, man.
Looks here.
Did Randy say he's not going to be there? He said he might not. I think I remember that.
Yeah, I think his brother or somebody had a birthday party today, so I know.
No, my brother's birthday is today, so.
Oh, it's yours, brother.
Right. Yeah, but they're doing something up there, and I already wasn't able to show, but wished him my best. And I'm like, what's crazy about it? What's really cool about it is he told us last night. I'm like, man, that's no better. There's probably not many better birthday gifts than that. He confirmed through 3 different tests, he's going to be a daddy again for the second time.
Oh,
What? No, I disagree with that.
Somebody would. Yeah, he's got the due date's going to be the end of November. It's like November 25th. So, ironically, we're going to give you God's going to give you a second baby, and you're going to be thankful for it. But
yeah.
cheers,
I see
cheers,
8 people in the chat so far.
How nice of them. 8 people in the chat, and 6 of them are on the screen.
Yeah, that's about it.
Then why we got 3 thumbs up?
I'm
Probably
one of
from
those
us.
3.
I have
I'm one
thumbs up.
I'm one of the thumbs up. Mine says 1 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Let me refresh the YouTube screen and see what it shows.
I know my YouTube says we've been on for 7 minutes. My StreamYard says 5. So there's something screwy going on with StreamYard. Must be.
Yeah,
Whatever.
mine says 6 minutes. So I don't know.
I don't know. So we're not in different time zones, so I don't know what the hell.
Right.
Who knows? Barry
Yeah,
Allen screwed up the fucking timeline again. All right. Yeah. Oh, there's Meatball. Meatball's here. Yeah, we might be doing a Indian Motorcycle World chat live stream sometime in April, maybe, for the new Scout. So we were talking about that in our other chat the other day.
What is that, the first week of April they're coming out with everything?
April 2nd, they got a live stream or something going on.
So what's Polaris got up their sleeve this year?
Nobody knows. Just it's going to be the new Scout. Don't know. It's probably going to end up being, there's different rumors out there. I know the one rumor is we finally get a gas. It's a new engine, new frame. We actually get a gas gauge this time. I'm hoping they actually put cruise control in it. That's my hope. I'm hoping
For
if
the
they're
Scout?
going to, that's going to be a completely different Scout from the ground up change. It's not going to be a sticker package like they've done and different paint job like everybody else has done now for the last 2 or 3 years. So
They want to define themselves, makes them definitive of Harley. That's how you do that, is go with something other than just color and stickers.
yeah.
So that's an interesting question I was thinking about when I first saw the Indian thing, their announcement. And then, CDL, what you said about you hope it's not just colors and whatever in the chat we have. And
Yeah.
McSash, you just said it. So it's a question I would throw out to everybody. I mean, because you've got, people say, I was watching somebody's channel. They were test riding the Lowrider S, and then they test rode the Scout at the same time with somebody down in Daytona. And they were saying, with the Lowrider, with the Scout, you got the full-on LED display and the dial and everything, whereas the Lowrider S still comes with the tachometer, and the speedometer. It has a little digital readout at the bottom, but that's about it. And so my question would be, I wonder if there's a debatable argument to say, you've got the people out there, the biker out there, that's the traditionalist, the person who doesn't want all that LED eye candy stuff. They like the speedometer on there with the fuel gauge and the odometer and the signals and the little heads up, the lights that pop up when something's wrong. But aside from that, leave the damn thing alone.
I know with the Chief, if you buy the base model Chief, you still get the standard speedometer, the needle. It's still computer controlled more or less. But I know if you upgrade beyond the base model, you get the whole digital. It's still a round gauge, but it has like the maps, the GPS, everything else in it is digital on there, and you can change, your Bluetooth. Everything links right up to the gas gauge or the speedometer. You actually get a gas gauge and everything except for the Scout right now. So there's one aftermarket company that makes a gas gauge for the Scout, and basically it's stupid expensive, not even worth it.
See, that's where you go back, and this is where I don't know. I don't want to say it faults Indian, or Polaris. It doesn't. Everybody can go back You go back, 15, 20 years. 2007, 2008 was when I first started riding. And at that time, if you didn't buy Kuraka, you weren't buying anything. There's nothing out there. Eagle Lights wasn't around. Custom Dynamics wasn't around. Zero 3D wasn't around. None of them were, right? All this aftermarket stuff. And I hit up Vance and Hines by email directly. And I was like, hey, man, I've got a Victory, cross-country tour here. When are you guys going to make some exhaust for that? And they quite frankly responded back, when there's a market for it. I'm like, so I'd say the same thing now. I mean, you fast forward here and, people said when the 24 Road Glads and Street Glads came out with the new front fairings and all that kind of stuff. I mean, Clockworks is already working, or had already started working on windshield screens and whatever. And I'm sure Memphis Shades and everybody else are doing the same thing. Their R&D departments, and so is Custom Dynamics and Zero 3D. I mean, it. Like you just said, there's one company out there that's making gauges or optional gauge clusters for the particular bike you mentioned. But I don't know. I would think nowadays there'd be more, or they'd be doing it quicker. Because I mean, it's a high. Technology is also very highly competitive right now.
Yeah. Well, the problem is the one gas gauge you get for the Scout, if you buy it, is $350 to $400. So
okay,
this is when you walk up.
Derek makes that face, but I'm like, hey, y'all, that's bikers. Period.
No, I know. No, just thinking, and actually, as I did that, and you started to respond, Toby, I remembered. Now I remember back to my Iron 883 days, and I'm like, wait a minute, that was like $300 or $400 too if I wanted it for my Harley.
And this is what cracks me up. It's like you got, we all talk trash, throw mud back and forth, and Indian, and I still say it: Polaris riders versus HD riders, whatever. Call it what you want. I don't care, but you're paying the same hundreds of dollars for aftermarket stuff. You go to any guy that owns an Indian that's. I don't care if it's a full dresser. I don't care if it's a Scout level type stuff. Or Harley, you take either level, both sides. Anybody doing aftermarket stuff, you're paying money to do stuff.
Or worse yet, there isn't anything. We're running into that with Kristen. I don't know. I know some of you all follow Moto Pink Sensei Kristen, my wife, on Instagram. We had 12-inch mini apes put on hers because her arms are short and she just reached well enough to ride safely. So over the winter, we had 12-inch
or his.
I think
it's mine too. You're breaking up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man,
you're not bad. I don't know if it's bad, if it's connectivity, whatever. I just want to make sure it wasn't mine because mine.
No problem. He just started talking about Honda and it got blurted out.
Yeah, right.
Let me unplug my headphones and plug them back in.
Okay.
But talk about that gauge, Chris. Is that $300 gauge plug and play, or is there still stuff you got to do to get that?
It was something I didn't even bother looking into. The company's called Hemisphere Performance or something like that.
Because that's something I look at.
So they're the only ones that make a gas gauge for the Scout.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. The thing is, I can walk up to my gas tank and go like this. I go, yep, I hear gas in it. Or I can, wiggle. Yeah, I hear it sloshing a little. There's still some gas left in there.
But
just the way
you also
I
got to
look at
remember
things for parts and stuff. Like if it's plug and play, and I see the price, I'm like, okay, that makes sense because then that's you don't have to mess with anything else. But if they're charging like a ridiculous price and it's not plug and play, and you still have to do splicing and do all this work, it's not. For me, it's not worth it.
Well, that's because it's availability. If I got the only game in town, you're going to pay whatever I charge you.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, it's like, so I just got, you guys saw a few months ago, whatever, I shared pictures on Instagram of the Hogworks, the crash bar lights and the accessory lights that I had that I won through those gift cards, whatever. There were 5 different content creators doing Hogworks gift cards. HD Vibe was one of them. Wrenching Biker Bay was another one. Marine Raider Raider World was doing them. And I was blessed to get win one of them. And so I got the Hogworks crash bar They're like running lights and turn lights, and then the accessory lights as well, the accent lights. And so I opened up, I was going to do an install video because I could not find anything out there on installing the crash bar lights. And so I opened up the box, and it wasn't plug and play. It goes back to what you, Mixed Ash and Ryan said. And I hit them up on email, and they said, yeah, we expect you to just splice it into the light, the hot wire, the head, the light, the wire for the running lights and brake lights and stuff. And I'm like, I could do that. I have no problem. I did my research and I was looking, okay, I know it'd be those wires, but my question to me, and everybody's going to be different on this. My question was, okay, on my bike, do I want to go through that trouble? Right. Number one. Number two, if I ever get rid of that bike, is that going to make it harder for, whatever, take your picks of whatever for the wiring versus plug and play makes a difference in installation and factors for timing and all that stuff. I mean, hell, I don't want to dominate the wording or the conversation. Just, I went back and watched a video that Brian, Blacktop Devil, now Life on the Blacktop, did months. I think it was a couple of years ago. He installed some of the, I think they were Custom Dynamics, the fork ring lights, the running ring lights you can do. And he spliced and everything. And he went through some different variations and courses of action you can do with the splicing, where you're using the shrink sleeves, whether you're using you connect it and you run the wire, and the twist in that actually connects by twisting, and just a couple of different variations. And so that's what I said. It all depends upon the person.
That's why I don't do too many of the install videos, because my preference, and because of being a mechanic my whole life, I would actually take the connector apart and change the pin. Yeah. I take the old pin off, put in new pins, and you can't put that in a video. You're just asking for trouble, or
right.
Yeah.
And but to Hogworks' credit, very much so, I hit him up and I was like, hey, I want to exchange these back and send them to you. I have it there. I had opened the box enough to see the product, but once I saw that, I didn't get anything out. I didn't spread anything out, whatever. And so I said, I'd like to, huh?
That's what she said.
Spread them.
But I just was like, I'd really rather not mess with this. Can you guys make an exception and exchange these, and I'll pick something else? And I picked a couple of other different things, and they were cool about it, and they switched them out. So
I don't know if you watched my cruise control install. That was all pulling harnesses apart and plugging shit in.
Good God.
That cruise control has so many different wires coming out of the brain.
I can imagine.
And it's because basically everything it's about, they designed it great, because if I pull in the clutch, it disengages the cruise. If I hit my front brake or my back brake, it disengages the cruise. The cruise will not activate until I've at least touched my brakes once. Like, soon as I start the bike, I have to actually hit the brakes before the cruise can be turned on and it'll work. So they put a lot of design and safety into it, and I was the first person to do the video for it. There's only been one other person since me, and he did it 2 months after I did.
If there was going to be one thing they did with this new bike and did do cruise on it, that would be a big thing.
Oh, yeah. Because this is, come April 2nd, I may be changing my mind on getting a Chief in a couple of years. I may end up going with a Scout. It's going to come down the price range and how much different did they improve the bike. I love my Scout 60. I have a feeling they may not do another Scout 60. I could see them keeping the original model of the Scout 60 for another couple years, and then having the new, just the we've talked about this in the Indian Motorcycle World chat, possibly having a 1250 for the engine right now, going to 80 cubic inch. That way it matches up with Harley, for one, because that would be the next competitor, obviously, an 80 cubic inch. If they don't have at least 125 horsepower in that motor, what's the point of changing the engine? It's already water cooled, so I doubt they're going to stop doing that. Adding the fuel gauge is going to be great.
They'll smoke Harley with horsepower if they go with water cooled.
Yeah, well, for that particular model iteration,
Yeah.
But just as what you're saying there, CDL, to McStash's comment to it, it's by doing that, this is going to continue to push both of them to compete and improve. I mean,
right? You need that competition to keep the R&D going, everybody pushing themselves.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll go with something along the FTR platform into the Scout?
It's supposed to be a completely new engine, from what I'm hearing. It's not even going to be the same. I don't know, because right now the FTR is already 1177. So the FTRs, it's basically the same block for the 60, the regular Scout, and the FTR. They all have the same engine. It's just bigger, bigger bore.
So what I saw the FTR, isn't that like a kind of a cafe or a stripped down naked bike racing?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of power for a little cafe racer like that kind of a bike.
The FTR is also lighter than the Scout too, and it's 120 horsepower already. So
yeah.
So a lot of videos I've seen, people just hitting the gas and they're lifting the front end. Yeah.
Hey, Harley did Sportster. Why not the Scout?
I'm guessing they'll probably stay with the aluminum frame that they have now. They're going to have a new frame, but they'll probably stay with that style, like an aluminum type frame. I would hope they would have
monoshock.
Yeah, they got dual shocks on it now, but
what's that?
That's what I'm hoping on the Scout.
Yeah, people are hoping, I think, for the rear travel to improve.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, the challenge, I think, I don't know. I mean, all the Indians, they all have the aluminum frame, right?
Not the Chief. Chief has steel frame.
I would assume, as you're getting up there like that, you kind of have to start doing steel with the frame,
right?
All the weight you put on it to hold that kind of.
Yeah, because I know that the Chief is wet backed to steel frame. There's a lot of people complain because it's no longer the Chief. It's whatever, It's not a vintage style bike. Which the reason I went with the Scout 61, it was all black. 2, it was cheaper, and 3, I had the full fenders versus going with a bobber. The bobber doesn't look like an Indian to me anymore, having the shorter fenders.
Do you know if the Challenger and the Pursuit, if they are steel or aluminum?
I think they're aluminum. I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to think. I haven't really paid attention to the frame on them, honestly. I've looked at them. I've sat on some of the bikes, but they.
The Chief is supposed to be like the Road King equivalent for the touring frame, right?
Chieftain.
The Chieftain, right? And that's the one you said went to the steel?
No, the Chief. There's a Chief and a Chieftain. Chieftain is more touring with the. Chieftain would probably be closer to being like the road street glide style.
Okay. So then the Chief is probably more like the Fat Boy or the.
Yeah, probably probably closer to like the STs, maybe. That would probably be. Yeah, I think so. They don't have the fairing on them though. Like the Chief comes with an option of there's the base just has nothing on it. There's
the Challenger frame is aluminum.
Is it?
Cast aluminum.
I couldn't remember. But yeah, the Challenger would probably be like the Road Glide. That would be the competition for that. Yeah. Those two. Well, yeah, I don't know if they make any vintages anymore. But the rumor is now for 2025 also they're supposed to make a Chieftain with the Power Plus motor, which is what they have in the Challenger now too. That's the other upgrade they're supposed to do. I know there's going to be a big push for water cooled stuff, I think, here in the future with all the emissions and crap. But they're going to price everybody out of the market too, though. Like I said, for me, for me to buy my bike right now, if I buy the exact same bike I own right now, it would cost me about $2,000 more than it did in 2018, and they've changed nothing on them.
Yeah, the Scout's around 13 right now.
It's about that, I think.
Yeah, 13. I think fully, like if you get one of the Icons, they're closer to 15, but then you're getting into the Chief price because the Chief starts at $14,900, and then you go up to the Super Chief, which would be closer to like a touring model with the windshield and the bags and everything, and that's $21,000.
So, and that's, again, that goes back to what cracks me up about that. You know, I mean, you're talking when you match model to model, and I'm not saying this to say one is better than the other. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying it's you get people out there who will really get offended and get ticked off when you say one, you should have bought this. Well, seriously, it depends upon each person, number one, but number two, it's the financial for each person. Yep. But if you're comparing apples to apples, you know, ride platform to platform, touring model to touring, whatever, you're not going to be much different when you add everything in that you want. Versus, because it's not. You're going to be maybe $1,000, $2,000 tops difference. And most people aren't paying cash. So, I mean, you're looking at a $10 to $20 a month difference in payment.
Yeah.
Money. So, in the grand scheme, it's both, you know, they're the biggest names on the market as far as American-made muscle.
You know, and everybody has a different argument why they like each one. Some people like the Harleys because there's more Harley dealerships. If you're on the road, something happens, you're more likely to find one. You know, I understand that argument. I understand, well, there's more aftermarket for Harley too, generally.
Yeah. That's one of the main reasons why we kind of changed over from Victory. One, because, you know, when Polaris dropped Victory, we got burned by that, a little pissed off because I bought the Victory when I was in Italy and came back and saw that. And I was like, okay, well, there's one market you just lost. You should have kept both of them because you had different demographics for both markets. Yeah. And you had a fantastic bike there. So, and then we went
That's the reason the wife and I are on Harleys. We're Honda people. You know, we're gold winners. Been gold winners.
What? You're breaking up. What? You're breaking up.
But we wanted to start traveling further and put more miles, and we needed the dealership network, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I know there's like 2 Honda-based dealerships near me. And I know the one dealership's in Jamestown. If you need something done, he's going to charge you for it. You know, their mechanics don't want to do anything extra because this one dealership is a Honda, Suzuki. He handles like the Polaris, like the off-road vehicles. Mm-hmm. But basically, like, oh, we need this part for your bike. I had my old Suzuki. We need this part for your bike to fix it. Do you want us to order it, or do you want to order it? I'm like, well, I guess I'll order it then, you know, but then you just sit on it. You know, it's like I take it to a dealership for you to work on it. You get the shit and do it. If I'm going to do it, order the parts myself, I might as well just do it at home, you know?
Right.
But
I mean, when it comes down to repair type stuff or, you know, hey, you're out on the road and something happens, if you're going to or you're at a major rally, you know, Daytona, maybe even Laconia. I haven't been there, but I know Daytona. I haven't been there, but I know the city. You're in a major area, major metropolitan area. Sturgis, you know, you're going to have a dealership of some kind there that will service just about any brand of bike, any model of bike. You know, I mean, that's one thing. But like, you know, Stash said, you're out in, you know, backwoods Pennsylvania or Idaho or someplace in the middle of nowhere. That's where HD will win the battle with the rest of them. Over the rest of them, because you'll probably find a dealership within less than 50 miles or even 100 miles, but you'll find a dealership, you know?
Yeah.
I know a guy who, go ahead.
That's where I'm lucky. Like when I do the trip to VAM every year, I actually pass 3 or 4 Indian dealerships along that route. Yeah. But I understand, like there's other parts of the country, I'm sure it's not like that, but I've got 2 within an hour of me now.
Yeah.
You know?
I was gonna say up in Laconia, there's a Harley and an Indian dealership right up in that same area, so that works out. And it was funny when I was having issues last year. The problem, obviously, with Can-Am, there's not that many dealers, and there's not that many legitimate dealers because they're always like mixed in with off-road or something else.
Yeah.
So I found out the closest one to that Tazewell area is 2 hours away in West Virginia. So it's like
that's where it was when I was living in DC. I lived in Bristow, which is, for those that don't know Bristow, Virginia, it's right there by Manassas, Gainesville area. It's about 40 miles west of the DC area. But in order for me to get, what's up, AB?
A word from our sponsor.
Yeah, but in order to get serviced for my Victory Cross Country Tour at the time, the 2012, I had to drive or trailer it an hour to an hour and a half to White Plains, Maryland, which you guys, if anybody's been up in that eastern area where Virginia, Maryland, all is, there's no direct highway shot. It's all up one way and down another just to get to it. And I'm lucky if they can. I have to schedule it out to do it. It's like when I was watching something from the Badgers when they were at Daytona. They had old boy, I think his name is Ken. He has the camp up in Michigan. Rode his Indian down. It's a 2022 model. It's a full dresser, and they went around to Custom Dynamics, to Sierra 3D, or whatever. Nobody would do the aftermarket light install there at the vendor in Daytona. They would not do the work. He had to discuss it with them. They said, you have to go to the dealership and have them install it there. But I guess after a few days or whatever, he actually, when they talked it out, they said they'd do it, and he was their first one install for the Indian full dresser of like aftermarket lights. But yeah, it was crazy. Like nobody would do no vendor at Daytona or Destination Daytona or whatever. Nobody would do any aftermarket stuff on an Indian bike.
That's weird. Yeah. Especially for something that big. That
it's a liability. I don't know if it's liability. I don't know what it is, but
there's something weird going on too with the newer Indian models. It's getting harder for aftermarket tunes on them too. Like they're starting to do where they lock the computers. Ford's doing the same thing with the Mustang. They're starting to lock it, so you have to get it tuned at a dealership.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the other thing is, if you do tune it, the dealer can't read the ECU or whatever. I have to do that with my Can-Am. When I bring it in for service, I have to detune it down to the stock tune so they can run it through the computer and do all of that. So that's a pain.
Fortunately, my bike hasn't been to the dealership in about 4 years, so
I had to do another recall. So I had to, unfortunately, had to bring it in for that.
Yeah,
it's. I mean, y'all tell me. It's kind of funny because, under their current flag, if you will, Indian has been around for
2014,
10 years, maybe 8 to 10 years, right? 2014. So it's funny if you take them now, and like what Ryan just said, or what you just said, Chris, that Indian is starting to lock certain aspects of their operating system in their bikes or whatever the case might be, the little niche stuff, right? The annoying stuff to the individual buyer.
Yeah.
It's like, hey guys, that's what Harley and Honda and others have had ongoing for a couple decades now.
Yeah.
It's not knocking any, it's just saying, you're griping about now. It's like HD riders like, hey, welcome to the world of, mass production. Now you got the bikes out there. We were dealing with that 5 years ago, that kind of thing. It's not.
For me, if I have to go to the dealer for like tunes and all that type of stuff, I'll just ride something else. Like it's just too much.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna deal with that. Same with my cars and everything else. Like they don't see dealers, they don't see any of that stuff, so they're all aftermarket tunes.
Yeah.
Got a Kawasaki ride forever.
And I was saying about that before. Burley brand is the only brand that made a wire extension kit for Kristen's Rebel. There's no Honda or aftermarket.
He's talking about Honda again.
There's no aftermarket. Well, I'll get to a Harley in a second. There's no aftermarket sissy bars. They make a luggage rack that she had installed on it when we took delivery of the bike last year. But I mean, we may have to have somebody fabricate something, which we're not against, but and then as far as gauges go, I mean, y'all know me, I'm all about technology, but I hate the gauge cluster on the Lowrider ST. It's that little tiny one that's like on the Street Bob, where to give me my 2 analog gauges. I would rather have that. So I may actually end up making buying the gauge cluster holder eventually, and going back to analog gauges. The only thing I didn't like about them on my Lowrider S is I had to look down to see them. I want them up on the bars.
So you just need to get a bike with a 70-inch screen on it, so you can watch WrestleMania in a couple weeks.
Now, I mean, I liked when I first saw what Harley did with the Lowrider ST. They put that they integrated the thing into the bar. I liked it. Not that I would be chasing down to get it, but I thought it was a unique way to add it on. But I agree with you. I prefer the full-on gauge cluster.
Yeah.
Well,
I want to be able to see.
Right, exactly.
Like now, like if I got with my full face helmet on, I have to kind of look down to see my speedometer. I mean, I've ridden my bike long enough to know how fast I'm going without looking now. So
right,
you kind of get that feel the vibrations, as Marky Mark would say.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you, Toby. I like how it's kind of condensed, different, for lack of a better term, and different, but because it's so small, in order to get that information, I have to cycle through and all that. And not
as bad as a 4-wheeler with distracted driving.
Exactly. Now with the 2 gauges, everything's right there. And AB, I hate to do this, but I have to disagree.
Really?
I did not see it on a Lowrider ST. I saw it on a Tri-Glide Ultra. I did not care for that color combo.
So you've seen it in person?
I saw it yesterday when we went and we drove out and took a look at it.
Interesting. He had been so small.
Granted, again, like I said, it was on a Tri-Glide Ultra, so maybe on a Lowrider ST or another bike that has it, it might look different.
But Marvel Kid 87 went out and bought one.
I've seen pictures of it. It looks I like the kind of like the vintage type look to it. So
is that the one that looks like the wooden panel? It kind of looks like wooden paneling on the side.
But again, pictures and again, seeing it in person is different. So
the Griswold ST.
No, it looks better than that though.
Does it?
Oh yeah, I from what I've seen on video, I haven't seen pictures, but I haven't seen it in person. But
yeah.
Well, you also got to understand this is coming from somebody who is going to judge every.
He must have said Honda again.
See, he's talking about that Honda again.
Yeah. You're breaking up bad.
Yeah, he's talking about the damn Hondas. It keeps breaking it up there.
Now you're frozen. Now you look like something like Max Headroom on a broken up MTV shot.
Let's go back to the 80s.
Yeah, I think he froze.
That's right. Yeah. It's made to look like a guitar. That's right. That's right. They did say that in the introduction, the reveal of it.
I'd buy that for $1.
It's supposed to look like that stained guitar face, that wooden.
Yeah.
And it does. I mean, like I said, I'd like to. I'll look forward to seeing it in person if it ever. He said Stephen Hawking. If it ever looks. If it ever stays on the showroom floor long. If it ever stays on the showroom floor long enough for me to see one at my dealership, I'd like to see it.
It won't happen. Everybody's buying them and making teabaggers out of it. Can we make that a thing? Can we start calling them teabaggers? I mean, come on, guys, really? Who rides something like that?
Yeah. Somebody will. Man, somebody will get that, buy one of them things, even and just dress the shit up out of it, get a bunch of aftermarket stuff and color theme crap, whatever. I don't know. It's
you got to be careful with that color theming, because I took the 2012 I just got, and I was like, oh, let's add some red flash to this, and So I did this ring on the air cleaner, and I did the timing cover, and I did the primary cover with the red sparkle that matches the Merlot that they have. And then when we were out, I walked past one of the anniversary editions, and it's got the same accents I did that I thought was so special.
Damn it! Here I thought I was unique.
Right. I thought I had something. I thought I was a standout like AB.
Derek, are you still there? You're like, your screen is frozen.
Yeah. He might get disconnected.
Huh. Yeah, he must be having issues. Yeah, he's moving a little bit.
Yep.
Man, you really are looking like an 80s video game.
Yeah, you're barely moving.
8-bit graphics.
Yeah.
That's what she said. I said, I just wiggle a little. You do all the work.
But yeah, the other
Kentucky. I'm at my sister's.
Yeah, I might want to leave and come back.
All right, I'm like, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
There you go. You're
much clearer now, but
yeah, I don't know what's going on. You guys are all live to me. Every now and again, I'll get
the only thing I would suggest, maybe it happens every so often. We do the content creator workshop. As much as you like it, I would say try to get rid of the virtual background. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. Maybe that's taking up bandwidth or the processor or something. I don't know. I'm no computer person. He said you must be. Oh, Sinister must be getting teabagged today.
We'll try that.
Right. Yeah, that's. I mean, you're looking a lot better. You're immediately clearing up and smooth and everything.
HD router.
He has an HD.
It's expensive and slow. Is that what that means?
I got Spectrum internet. It's just as damn bad.
So your internet's on the Spectrum, huh?
Yeah.
30 to 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
But one last time, in case I break up again, it's like you were talking about earlier, Toby. It's frustrating to us because it's not. I mean, the Rebel 1100 is a newer model, but the Rebel's been around for a long time. I mean, obviously we know the old 250s and shit like that, but the 300, the 500 models, it's the same frame, everything. The only difference is it's got a different engine in it. It's got a bigger engine. It's got a detuned Africa Twin engine in it. Why there isn't a bigger aftermarket, it just blows my mind.
Because their main market is the Goldwing, period. I mean, that's where Honda's main flagship is. That's all their money goes. I mean, that's why, like, you look at Custom Dynamics and Zero 3D and any other brand out there, it's like that's why they do the Gold Strike stuff or whatever they label their stuff they're going for. That's it.
Give it time. I think that Rebel will catch on. I think that will be an entry market for a lot of people. It has a lot of good looks. Look at the Furies, the Honda Furies. Yeah. Those are everywhere, and they're not talked about. They're not. People want to do them.
Yep. You made a good point there. I mean, Ryan said earlier, pricing out. Guess what, folks? Yeah. Indian, Polaris, whatever you want to call it, Harley Davidson, they're going to price people into
those bikes.
The Honda that Rebel.
Yeah, like AB said, the Rebel 1100 moves. I can verify that bike has got some shit and get to it. And
it handles like wet toast.
The Fury. You can't. Anytime you extend that
Chris,
frame, anytime you change that trail and rake, you ruin it. I mean,
you got to invite AB into the live stream here, just for nothing else. You can describe what wet toast handles like.
Yeah.
It's in the same class as a Kawasaki, I think, but I don't know. He can't. No, he'd have to put his on his McStash face mask to get into the live stream, so he can't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I can only do 6 people on here at once, giggity.
Oh, that's right. It's the free thing.
Hey, he wants in. I'll step out just to let him in. I ain't afraid.
He'd have to go mask up and put his leather suit on, though.
Right.
I think anybody that wants to get into the motorcycle area is probably like the Royal Enfield's a good start too.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap actually, price-wise, for a new one.
Yeah, it's interesting because you don't really hear a lot about them.
The Super Mini or 650 and some of those other lines. I mean, you can get those easily.
They're pretty simple bikes too.
Yes.
When it comes down to it.
D.A. Bishop nailed it. Brand snobs will have to find something else to talk about.
Oh yeah,
they're one step above the China bikes.
Yeah.
Tell you, if you want to learn to work on a bike, buy a China bike because you'll be doing it quite often. Every time I say I got it dialed in, no, something else breaks. So, but
I've heard that too. Einfeld's. I've heard that.
Yeah.
I heard the Triumphs are a fun ride too.
They are. They're some of those. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're quick.
A lot of those overseas brands are fun. When you get into the Italian and the European, then you get into smaller gear clusters, and it's harder to get people to work on. But they're a freaking blast. I was on a Moto Guzzi for a while. That thing, I mean, it had 8 gears. It would just crap and go and leave everybody in the dust. And I mean, the advancements were incredible, but to get somebody that could actually work on it was a whole different ball game.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw where the Royal Enfields, like they needed a valve adjustment every 3,000 miles.
Yeah.
Something.
What's that one?
The Royal Enfield. Some of the Royal Enfields need a valve adjustment every 3,000 miles.
I mean, for some of the riding, that's almost like nothing. That's like almost every trip.
How hard is it to do the valves on them, though?
Yeah,
that's because.
But when you ride something and you don't never do a valve adjustment, I don't know. It's just a little.
Yeah, because I wonder, like with the China bike being a 1-cylinder, like you buy one of these thumpers, and all you do is you pull the top of the motor off, and then I can do it I can do the Chanda in like 10 or 15 minutes. Just pull the cover off, get your feelers out, and then do it. Now we lost throttle feed again. Yeah. Let's see if the valves are just right on top of this. There, he's back again. Let's see.
Yeah.
Hey, if y'all, I mean, obviously I'd love to stay, but if my internet keeps cutting out like this for whatever reason, if y'all want to invite AB on, I'm totally cool with that because this has never happened before.
Well, how about
neither has he been on a live stream with us, so that wouldn't happen probably.
I've had him on before.
With in this,
not with us.
But that's what I'm saying. I was clear on what I was trying to. The context of when he would come on. I would challenge that.
It's kind of funny for a fake router.
Hey, we'll take donations for whatever.
There we go.
Yeah.
You got to switch brands now.
Hey, Matthew Boyce is here.
Hey, what's up, Matthew?
Hey, what's up?
I'll tell you one thing. My live chat on my phone has not updated since McStash said lots slow as hell. That's the last thing my phone is updated to, and I don't know why. The live chat's not moving. There we go. I have to keep refreshing it for some reason. See which route.
You all got problems. I mean, I live in the middle of nowhere, and I got better stuff than what you got. What's up with that?
I don't know. Maybe I do need to reboot the router.
Updates. You might need to update everything.
Well, I'd love to get rid of Spectrum, but they're the only game in town right now.
Yeah, but you can still update your computer, though. Update the computer and sometimes the routers.
Interesting question.
Shit.
money wasn't
What
enough.
bike would you get? I'd get the one that I like.
Yeah.
I guess it depends
Whatever you're comfortable on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got plenty of money for aftermarket, making it your.
Yeah. Say whatever you feel comfortable on, what kind of riding you want to do. I mean, if you're a rider that goes back and forth through town, you can be fine on a monkey bike. Versus,
I was gonna, yeah.
If you're gonna be doing long trips, get something that's built for that.
Well, yeah, you're right.
It's happening again.
I mean, if you just going to go to bike night and around town, get you like a Fast Johnny or a Teabagger. But if you're going to, I could have said a Riker. Everybody in their brother can ride one of those.
God,
not everybody can do donuts on them though.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
so
I would.
I'll say, Matthew, boys, what's your
what you want to ride? What you want to do with your bike?
Matthew, what is your, if you're comfortable sharing it, what are your specs? What's your height and weight type stuff? Because that's the first factor to consider. What is your arm reach? Those are the first things to consider.
Yeah, because if you're short like AB USA, you can't get on a Gold Wing unless you have it lowered. You got to get an F6.
I mean, you could be tall and have T-Rex arms, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So say if you're going the drag night, you can get a drag bike, but that's a different story.
Yeah. 40 years old, 5'9", 155. That's low rider S right there. Low rider ST.
Yep. What?
Or Chieftain. Yeah. I'm just saying that or above.
Matthew? What's your inseam? Because
I'm
5'10".
Personal.
Well, no, I'm just saying because I'm 5'10", but I only have a 30-inch inseam, and he's talking about potential dual sport. My answer for dual sport every time is going to be the Africa Twin. You got a 31-inch inseam, get yourself a 2024 Africa Twin Adventure Sports electronic suspension. That's best bike out there for ADV and long distance road riding outside the BMW, but you don't have the dealership headaches with like.
Or if you want to buy a lot of bikes, go on Amazon, get you about 5 different China bikes for $2,000 each, and there you go. At least one of the 5 are going to work properly.
Right. Yeah, return the rest of the 4.
Yeah. There. He's back.
I'm back. Just waiting for this to. There we go. What a miss.
How much?
No, it's
Anonymous.
Stash put
Anonymous
Anonymous Biker left, didn't he?
Yeah.
Stash put on her Toby Teabagger, and I'm like, that's the channel name.
That's Teabaggers Anonymous. He left them.
And I only got to give them Teabagger crap. I got a couple of friends of mine that they're all into that Teabagger scene. They couldn't put a floorboard on the ground to save their life, but I just found out the one's 23 and the other's like 28. So anybody that rides those Teabaggers, I got to give them 9 kinds of crap.
So what's your description or what's your definition or your view of a Teabagger?
Anything from an ST up that they put the T-bars on.
Okay.
Yeah, the Sons of Anarchy style, basically.
Yeah, when you, it's kind of like when you put apes on and you take your hands outside the fairings.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I got one. But it's the Teabaggers, hey, it may be a performance thing. It may help you handle better. I don't know, but it's goofy, and you're putting T-bars on a bagger. So, and like I said, a couple of friends of mine have them, so I call them Teabaggers.
Yeah. Well, I'm one of them, so.
That's what I said.
Yep. No, I just
But yours come that way though, didn't it? Didn't Johnny already set up Teabagger? No.
I wanted to see how it try a difference to see how the T-bars felt, but I didn't want the traditional T-bar type deal that you see everybody getting. So I mean, the ones that I have actually are adjustable. So if I want to change the angle or change the height a little bit, I can. But where they are, like I said, I just seeing if it makes a difference. I mean, I love doing the box and doing the whatever, but see how it feels.
China bike.
Basically China bikes, anything made in China. That's what my dual sports. They call it a Chanda because it's basically the same style of engine that Honda would have been using on their dirt bikes and dual sports for the last 30 years or whatever. There are probably 100 factories in China making the same engine, exact same molds, everything.
To be clear, he's saying like totally made in China, right? The China factory based
basically,
not parts from China that are shipped into the States. That's damn near everybody.
Yeah, the full bike.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And they're
basically, like my bike is definitely a copy of anything made in the last 20 or 30 years. So
Nick said Amazon specials. I love that.
Yep, that's what it is. They are. You can go on Amazon and buy one today, and they'll ship it right to your door in a week.
Amazon just
titles and everything.
Put in the search motorcycle and then buy now.
Yeah. Basically, they have a sport version. They're all the same 250 for the most part. There's some company. Well, there's a company called CSC. See, there's different qualities too. Like the CSC is supposed to be the best for like the China bikes, But then you have the light. There's Lifon, CSC. There's another company that builds bikes here in the U.S., but they still use the Chinese motors and stuff. I can't remember what they're called.
Those things got to be mass produced because I've looked at the China trikes and they come with the same 250 motors.
Yep.
So it's a giant ass make it pumping out these motors.
Oh yeah. And there's tons of companies now too that are finding out people are liking these bikes. Yeah, my bike's 15 horsepower stock, but now you got a company that's making big bore kits for them. You're making everything to give them more horsepower. To me, it's bullshit because, I could put a big bore kit in this motor, but guess what? I'm still only going to have 20 horse.
Right.
If I max this thing out, I might as well just go buy, a TT or not TT, KLX 300, Kawasaki KLX 300. I might as well just go buy that, or basically somebody that already makes a 300cc motor. I might as well just go. You're taking a $2,000 bike, throwing a few, $500-600 into it. You're not saving any money. You might as well just go buy the damn thing right off the showroom for $4,000, and you got somebody that can fix it if you don't know how to fix shit. Yeah. The parts are right there. The dealership can get you the parts if you don't want to work on it. It's not a bad thing to buy these bikes. There's people 10,000-20,000 miles on some of them. I'm in the forums. For me, I got a bad one. I bought one that was supposed to be, refurbished. I don't know what the hell was wrong with it. I fixed stuff on it over and over again. Yesterday, I took it out for a ride for 10-15 miles, rode the hell out of it. That was perfectly fine. Tomorrow, it might not start.
No, that's why I think Honda came out with that new bike recently, the dual sport that's like $3,000 to compete.
That's the motor on that's a Chinese motor. It's not even a regular Honda motor. They outsourced it to China. So basically, you're buying an overpriced China bike with that one.
Yeah, but at least you're getting the name brand and you got the dealer network.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep looking at those Navis too because they're so cheap new. They're like
it's a good bike. It's a great around town bike. We enjoyed ours for when we had it. I exceed the weight limit of the average rider that they probably tested it with. So as long as you're going on a flat surface, or as long as I was on a flat surface, if I ever had to try to go up a hill, there was problems.
Yeah. Basically, that's all I do with mine, though, because I ride my Chanda through the wintertime. It's got, the longest I've done on that's 80 miles. And basically, even with me, basically with me changing the gears on it, I've done a tune on the computer and changed a few things here and there. It didn't give me a lot more power, but I still don't have enough to take it up on the highway and go 70, 80 miles an hour on it. I've maxed it out at 70 like once. And again, too, Chinese quality, how fast do you want to be going on this fucking thing all the time?
Right.
So I say, when people go on the forums, they say, what's the first thing I should change on it? And I say, any Chinese parts.
Totally rebuild the bike.
Right.
Yeah, just buy the bike. People sell these used on Facebook all the time. They might spend $1,700-$1,800 on it new. Oh, this is my first bike. Well, then they find out, I don't like riding, or I don't want to work on shit all the time. So they'll throw it right up on Facebook for like $1,000. They'll take like a 50% loss on it, and that's when you go out and buy them. They already fucked with them, fixed whatever was wrong with them. Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
That's why you buy an old Rebel 250 or something like that as your first bike.
Yeah.
Sell it for what you paid for it.
My biggest thing is, go ahead.
If you look at India and China and some of those places where these bikes are actually used and sold, I mean, you look at that mess headache, you're not going to be doing 60, 80 mile an hour on them. It is, like Dale said, it is an around town bike, so to speak. Yeah. Now they'll load the daggone thing down with 800 pounds and 4 kids and ride it, but
and they're
the market over here is just starting out over the last 5 or 6 years with these bikes. So there's tons of videos out there for them. People doing all kinds of shit to computers. You buy an adapter to hook to an ODB reader. Mm-hmm. I can read the code. The only code I've ever had on that bike's for for Spark. I've had problems, but the computer itself's been used since the 80s. It's just a Delphi. I mean, Christ, they use them in Chevy cars for a while. It's just a basic computer. It'll tell you, it just turns the light on and off. There's something wrong with the bike. Yeah, I can figure that out myself the way it's running. I don't need the dummy light. But to say, it's been a learning experience having this bike. I enjoy riding it when it's running the way it's supposed to. I never figured I'd want a dual sport bike, but I'll probably get something else. I keep looking at like KLRs too. I want something that I can freaking take out in the shitty weather and ride it. It's frustrating that I can't go. I can get it up, cruise at 65, 60 most of the time, but as soon as I hit a hill, it's like, nope, we're dropping. I want to be able to get on the highway and ride to my other job when there's still salt on the road, and I'm not taking my Indian out on that. So,
well, I'm waiting for them to work on electric bikes enough, because you have very few moving parts where the prices drop to around like say $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and you can get like 200-mile range out of a charge.
Yeah.
Even if the charge takes 8, 10, 12 overnight hours to recharge back up, you can ride that thing through anything.
I think the Zeros right now, they're working on something with a clutch with the newer bikes. I just briefly read something about it, so it'll kind of have that more of a feel to riding a regular gas-powered bike. I don't know how that's going to work if they're changing gearing, like if they're going to have a clutch and gearing, because I don't imagine you'd have to have more than a couple gears in an electric bike anyway, because they're basically, I think they're all CVT style.
I would say, I think most of them are like CVT styles.
But they're working.
Either that or they're single gear. It's just based on how far back you pull the throttle.
Well, electrics make so much torque anyways. Yeah, so that would
Oh yeah. So say, I want to get up to Buffalo if I have a minute this summer, because they got their adventure bikes. I don't see anything because I keep following to see where the demo days for Zero is going to be, and most of the demos days Harley, Indian, everywhere, they're all at rallies this year. I don't see anything local.
I wonder if they're trying to get some distance out of them with the gears.
Maybe.
Could be, yeah.
because they have the adventure bikes and they have the dual sport bikes. I would love to buy. They've got their cheapest bikes like $7,000.
Yep.
And this is the same basically as me jumping on the Chanda. I'm like, if I can go 100 miles on a charge, that's all I'm going to do on that bike anyway. You know, if I'm riding to work 40 miles, I'll just plug it in when I get to work and then ride the fucking 40 miles home. You know, I'll just plug it in every time I stop. But I don't mind something like that. You know,
you don't need to worry about demo days with that dealership.
Yeah.
Basically, demo day is when you show up. They'll let you ride anything.
With Zero, because I get the emails from Zero, you can basically schedule a demo ride anywhere. So I think that's pretty much. I think that's their Zero's whole deal. It's not just the dealership. I think it's all the dealerships. But I know the one in Buffalo, they're handling another electric off-road bike now too. There's another company, and I can't think of the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, those look more like what I have for mine now. Versus, I know Zero is a little different. Their style's a little different.
You know, that's interesting. I think they delayed it for this year, but I think either 2025 or 2026, Can-Am is coming out with 2 electric motorcycles. One like off-road dual sport and then one street bike. And we'll see how it goes. They're trying to get into the market, but again, Can-Am hasn't made a motorcycle in how many decades?
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be all new to them, and they're doing electric. So I think that's going to be interesting to see if that takes off at all.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're going to get any crossover from Spiders or Rikers for that, because there's a reason why they're on 3 anyways.
Yeah. I know Polaris is making off-road vehicles with electric motors too, and they've got a deal with Zero. Zero's building the engines for them, I think, for that. So. But I know, like I said, Polaris had their electric sport bike back in like 2007, the Pulse TT, something like that. And nobody people still don't give a shit about it, but I think there's more people in the market for it now than there ever has been, especially if Harley was going to make one, the Livewire. And honestly, the Livewire's biggest thing was being $30,000. That's what killed them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that was a Halo bike. I mean, that thing's got top of the line everything. The dealership that we went to yesterday to look at Kristen's bike, Arkport Cycles, they have a used one that's got like 400 miles on it. They're selling for $22,000. So I mean, for me, it's range and time to charge. If they can get it to where I can charge it in the amount of time it's going to take me to fill up a tank of gas on an internal combustion engine bike, an ICE bike, and I can get the range that I can get on an ICE bike, even if it's the range of, like, say, a Scout 60 or even an Iron 883, I will buy one if it's reasonably priced, obviously.
Well, here's the thing, though. You said that bike was $22,000 used. Mm-hmm. You can buy a top of the line Zero for $22,000 right now, and it's got more power.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, but
I know. But that's the thing.
Still the bad EV bikes.
Yeah.
And something that's happening with the Tesla market too, as far as used ones, people are dumping them before you have to do repairs and stuff to the batteries.
Yeah.
So there's going to be no used market really for electric vehicles, because by the time someone trades them in or done, you're going to have to do $10,000-$20,000 worth of repairs anyways.
Well, why would you?
That, and I don't like when my car spontaneously combusts.
That's like, I don't change the batteries in my remote. I buy a new TV.
I mean, think about this. Batteries. Look at, and I don't care what technology says they do, whatever. It's fact of life. Everything wears down, right? Everything, man.
Everything mechanical.
So look at a smartwatch. Look at a smartphone. Look at any kind of electrical device that has internal battery, right? You even have that thing for 3 to 5 years, however long you have it for. Ultimately and eventually, that battery is trained to riding styles or usage style. Cars and EV bikes are no different. They're going to eventually wear down and reduce the capacity, how long they can hold a charge for from when they were first purchased. So, you know, they still make Livewire. Yeah, they still do. They're actually on version year model 2 or year model about to be year model 3. So
Do they still have the Harley logo on them though? Or are they just called Livewire?
No, it's their own
company. Subsidiary Harley. They're still owned by Harley as a subsidiary company.
Yeah.
But that's something that a salesperson told me. If you're a collector, that might be something worth hunting down and collecting. If not, maybe that you'll ever ride it, but one of the original live wires with the Harley Davidson stamp on the tank, that would be something eventually to one of those first models to own.
Now here's something too as far as being a collector's item. You say you go to somewhere in Iowa and you find like a barn with an old car. Oh, this car's, everybody's had a TV show from here to there and YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Now that live wire's been sitting in a barn for 20 years. What's going to happen with that? Is the battery acid going to leak all over the bike and then rot the frame out? I don't know.
Exactly.
They're probably aluminum frames, aren't they?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Probably.
So it's still, aluminum still corrodes, whatever. Like I look at my Fairlane, one of the first things I had to have fixed was part of the frame on the front. Because it sat in the field and the battery ate a hole on that side of the frame. So what happens when you get one of these electric bikes? It's not like you're going to find a Suzuki 125 from like 1970 something and just throw some stable in it, throw some gas in it, fix a couple rat holes or whatever, and go.
Do y'all see?
Look at all the work that Pro Monkey's been doing to that bike that was in a dadgum hanger he's using the frame for the Smokeout Rally or whatever. That thing has been for 20 years. It was in a dadgum hangar somewhere, and
I still see a lot of like 80s and 90s Goldwings for sale too. And they say these still run, but it's always something to do with the alternator, or this needs to be done, or that needs to be done. How hard is it to change something like that on one of those bikes?
The alternator on that bike is on the back of the engine. And the timing belt, if not changed approximately every 50,000 miles, you're going to have internal damage. But there is a line of Goldwing people out there who will buy those even with locked engines.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
I like the original Goldwings like Bubba had, from the 70s before they were considered like a touring bike. Those things just... Between that and the CBX, I think if I was going to buy a classic bike right now, I'd go with something like that from like late 70s, early 80s from Honda. Yeah, don't cut me off.
You're the host.
Well, that's what I say is just CBX.
You should cut yourself off for that remark.
I know. It's one of those bikes there that... But yeah, the CBX is... I would say if I had a dream collector's bike, it'd probably be like a 80s CBX 81. Whenever they went to 1100, they had one that was kind of like a touring style toward the end. I think in 82 or 3, had a little bit more fairing stuff on it. But again, I wouldn't want to be the one to tune 6 carburetors either.
Yeah,
right.
But again, it just the way they sound when they got the 6 and the 6 exhaust, and there's people that updated them a little bit because I'm sure, like they say, the frames flex on them underneath the torque, and
there's actually a spot on the frame of those that rust.
Yeah,
because the way it's because there's a section that opens up and that you can twist the engine inside the frame. It's a neat little setup, but there's a spot in there that rusts because a guy come up to me one time. Was telling me, I used to work at the Honda plant up in Marysville. I welded that spot right there. And I'm like, don't ever tell anybody that. Rust out. It wasn't anything he'd done. It was just the design of the frame.
Yeah.
That was where the water laid, so it rusted out right there.
Well, that's the thing, too. A lot of those Hondas didn't have a frame. It bolted right to the engine, so you could slide the engine right in and bolt it down.
Yeah, there was a section on the bottom of the frame. It's probably about 1.5 foot long, and you took that out, and the engine would twist in the frame or pull out of the frame. It was a pretty neat deal. Engineering on those is amazing, but
yeah. Then there was an Italian bike too that had the same 6 cylinder, 6 in the 6 exhaust, and they sound like an F1 car when you rev them up.
Oh yeah, I took the I took the cross pipe on mine, had stainless steel tubes put on there, and run Bassani long shots on the back of it. Yeah. And everybody swore it was a supercar. It sounded neat as could be, but
yeah.
So here's the question for you, Jason. I know, we've had this conversation before, you and me personally, and then as a group, that, you and Angela want to do all your long distance riding and all that. So, you go with Harley because of the dealership network, which makes sense. But have you ever thought about picking up an older Goldwing just for shorter distances, just because of how much you love the Goldwing and all that?
I got 3 bikes in the garage right now. There's no room for it.
Okay, if you had room.
Would I? Yes. Mine was an 85. It was an 85. We got rid of it in 12 and got an 04. Doesn't ride as good as the Goldwing. We got a 15. Doesn't ride as good as the Goldwing. Matter of fact, nothing the wife's been on has ever ridden as well for her as the 85 Goldwing. So, and we've been on some new bikes.
And then they had the Suzuki's. There was Suzuki and Yamaha both had their versions.
Suzuki had a Ventura.
Yeah.
Yamaha had the Adventure or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah. Because my uncle had one when he died. I would have liked to have that bike, honestly. There are just tons of buttons, and I don't know, you're sitting in that bike at that point. It's almost like a big scooter. The radio.
That's what the Victory tried to do with their with that Victory Vegas. They were trying to look like a Goldwing too much.
Yeah.
With a spaceship.
Yeah.
The spaceship one.
Corvette on 2 wheels.
I don't know. I've kind of always had a thing for the Rune. If I had stupid money, I'd love to get my hands on the Rune.
Then they had that, what was it, Pacific Coast?
Yeah.
You either love that thing or you hate that thing. It's just...
When I was stationed in Hawaii, that was the only motorcycle that anybody had in the barracks that I was in, was that Pacific Coast. We rode the crap out of that thing.
Yeah. What were they, like an 850 or something like that? 750, 850?
It was somewhere in that range, yeah.
Yeah. Because I see a few of those once in a while pop up on Facebook. There's one that looked like it was an old police bike, I think, that popped up in my area at one point. I don't know. I'm always looking at shit. That's why I'm broke. I'm at the point where I'm too broke to buy any more shit to go even further broke at this point. I'm back into watching a lot of car shows and stuff. What's his name? Shit, I can't think of his name right now, but I've been watching a lot of. There's a guy that used to be on Hot Rod Garage.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his own Tony. He used to be on Hot Rod Garage, but they were working on a 67 Fairlane. And basically, they found this thing in a field that was a former race car. And spent like 4 days and basically gone on the road. Took it to the drag strip. But that's what I said. You got sponsorships from Summit Racing sending you shit, and makes it a lot easier when somebody sends you parts for free.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does.
And I'm not the most mechanically knowledge when it comes to that. Like, I'm not rebuilding a transmission or an engine. I could figure it out probably. If I had the time to sit there and do it, I could probably figure out how to do it. But especially on a 60s car, shit, there's not much to them back, Now everything, just change something in the computer.
Let's say one of the funnest cars I had was an 89 Corolla. It was just carbureted, so simple, just work on that thing, not even in the driveway, on the side of the street. You could just replace stuff on it.
Oh, yeah. Nicest thing about the Fairlane when I bought it, I pulled the stock original carburetor out of it, and I just bought another one right off of Amazon for $99. I mean, they haven't really changed that much on them. It's what the hell is it? The 2100. Well, basically, they used them on Jeeps. They used them on, the carburetor said it was for a Jeep, but I looked at it. I'm like, it's exactly the same as the carburetor I had on that engine from '65. So they didn't change much on them. There might be stuff inside here and there, different Venturis or whatever, different sizes, different size jets. Damn car ran beautiful.
H.H. Plymouth said that the vintage bike for him will be a 73 Kawasaki Z1 or the Honda V65 Sabre. And you guys were mentioning the Pacific Coast one. I was just looking those up because I got into bikes for the first time really in 08, and I really haven't dove into any of the vintage stuff. But I mean, looking at those bikes, y'all tell me. I mean, it looks like there's the trend back, of course, in the 60s, 70s, whatever, 80s was the full-on seat that was just kind of morphed into the bike frame itself. I mean, were those actually comfortable?
I've never ridden one, but McStash said he did.
Yeah, it was, well, nobody in here is my age, but it was the banana seat on the old bicycles, that.
Right. That's kind of what it made me think
it was that same style. They got to a spot where there was to be no vision of the engine. It was all just, plastic coverings over everything. And that was the thing. I mean, was it comfortable? Yeah. Like the Hondas that put all the gas tanks down between your legs. So your weight was down between your legs, all the weight, the balance on them was ridiculous. So comfortable. Yeah. You had no vibration. You had, a weight balance on it was crazy. And I mean, the Gold Wings of the mid and late 80s were outweighing the Harleys nowadays, outweighing the Limiteds now.
The what were?
The Gold Wings of the mid 80s.
No doubt.
So, I mean, but they were, and I can tell you, I'll pick up my 85 4 times as to pick up my Limited 15 1 time. Just because of the balance of the weight.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so yes, it was a smoother ride. It's like when you get on the BMW and you're wondering how the engine that goes like this feels smoother than the Harley engine that has a 45 to it. It's.
Yeah, there's a picture of me at like probably 2 years old with my dad sitting on. He had a Kawasaki. I don't know what model it was. It obviously
was it the Concourse? Was it the Concourse?
I'd have to pull it out and look at it.
That's what she said.
But it did have that the elongated seat that looks like it might not have been all that comfortable, but
I don't know how they are. Like, we're all getting a little bit older, and I know I have to have a backrest if I'm doing long rides. That's like the Chanda. I don't have a backrest on it. I don't plan on going, like I said, more than 100 miles ever on that bike. But as I say, that's like the Chanda seat. That's what you do. The first thing I did is I cut the hump out of the seat so I could actually move back, because on the Dual Sport, you're basically sitting on the fucking gas tank where the hump is.
Yeah.
Where I see, like, I think the Pacific Coast seat's kind of like a Dual Sport style seat in a way. Like you said, I had a banana seat. I had a Huffy chopper when I was a little kid. So that's the only chopper I've ever owned.
When you guys mentioned the Pacific Coast, I went looking at that bike, the images of it, and looked at the ones that H.H. Plymouth mentioned, the Kawasaki and the Honda, and then just looked at the one that Derek taught, the Concourse. I mean, they have that in that time frame, 70s, 80s, 60s, whatever. They had that banana seat or that bench seat
flat
thing going. So I remember the banana seat on my bicycle.
Yeah.
Well,
same thing.
Aside from that, with those kind of, I remember when I was a kid, somebody had like, I guess I'm assuming this was in the, mid to late 80s maybe time frame. I'm assuming what they had was like a little miniature Grom or whatever with the thicker tires, whatever. And I sat on that thing and did the throttle, like barely tripped the throttle. And next thing I know, I'm running wide-legged on the seat, trying to keep the thing from falling on me and taking off on me, because I was like, I had no concept of sitting on a seat without something behind me to keep me on the damn thing. I've never done it before. So the bench seat piece, Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you see. What is it? The cafe racers, they end up carving it out, and then they have it so kind of, you're using your ass to kind of hold yourself there.
Yeah.
With that.
I mean, the first thing after I looked up those bikes, the next thing I looked at was looking at the Keanu Reeves bikes, those arc motorcycles. Yeah. I mean, they have that same kind of thing, that deal with the seats. It's okay. Can't let that go. Go back to the 70s. Hey, it might even be further than that, man. I'm just saying the pictures that I looked at based upon what was listed in here, 65 or the 73, whatever, the Kawasaki, and somebody mentioned the 65 something, whatever. So that's why I say I looked back at that time frame and the images of what it showed.
And you look, they still make the Honda 125 there, the one that's kind of like a scooter.
Yeah.
What the hell is it called? Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically. That's still like supposed to be one of the most popular selling bikes of all time.
Oh yeah, they've sold a bazillion and 5 of those.
They're kind of like the Volkswagen of motorcycles, basically. You know, they make it made them for so long, and I always thought that'd be interesting.
I like that comment, man. That's funny.
Yeah.
Super Cub. That's that little mini bike looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's been a couple of videos where I've seen people taking like the Groms and shit and putting like full size engines in them. You know, the last one I watched, the guy was actually smart enough to have a helmet and gloves and boots and shit on. That other guy just had like a baseball cap and no gloves on before. So
that's interesting. Hey, look, highlight what H.H. Plymouth just said. That's very.
Where's that one?
That's been a thing with Kristen ever since she started. She's like, why is first gear all the way at the bottom? Why do you have to click up to go into neutral?
What about the Donnery one?
Oh, the Donnery. Dang it. About the Baker transmission.
Yeah.
If I can get the shit to move.
That's what she said.
There we go.
The Donnery one is getting a Baker transmission. He is going to Baker to assemble it. They're talking about neutral at the bottom and all gears up. That's.
So basically, it's a 4-wheeler.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it.
I mean, it makes sense, but it just doesn't feel right.
Well, I mean, you can force your body to adapt to anything you see. Yeah. It would be weird. Yeah. It's like what Harley riders first said when Polaris introduced Indian. This feels weird. Toby, you and a few others here get slack as you'll knowable.
Where is it?
Knowledgeable.
Somebody's had a few drinks.
No, I'll be, because I that's why I say my knowledge of bikes. I mean, I think back to that every so often, but my first bike was the 08 Yamaha Roadstar. It was a 1700. And I mean, I saw, we all watched movies and as kids or whatever with bikes, motorcycles, whatever. The one that really comes to my mind initially was, I think one of the first movies I watched with motorcycles in it was the Lethal Weapon one with Mel Gibson riding the Tour Glide when he went off the damn highway. But I mean, aside from that, then you've watched ever since getting into motorcycles. Of course, I've watched anything I could find and enjoy.
Yeah,
but the knowledge of those motorcycles, what they are, that's the general public is blind to that stuff as well. I mean,
yeah.
Jack Nicklaus, yeah. And of course, seeing him on the back with Peter Fonda. An Easy Rider.
Yeah. I pretty much like anything with motorcycles in it.
Yeah.
Even if it's not a good movie, sometimes they're enjoyable. Well, most of the 70s shit was pretty stupid anyway, so you got to figure they're high writing that shit and making it. So.
Right. I think
it's funny. Go ahead.
I think mine might have been Megaforce. Chris Christopherson. And they had the motorcycle, and it shot the rockets out of it.
Yeah. Oh Lord! And you're talking Street Hawk.
Yeah.
No, so I started binge watching. I went back and started binge watching Sons of Anarchy again. I think I'm on season 3 or whatever. But regardless, I was in Hulu, and because I had watched that, it was offering me to watch Gangland Undercover, right? And there was one where, and this particular one was like a three-part series or 3-season series where I guess it's talking about a guy who was and I can't remember his dad's name. And of course, it's where the guy is a fake actor, all that kind of stuff for the real person, whatever. But he was a person out in, I guess, California who infiltrated the Vagos and patched in all that kind of crap, whatever. And in the first or second episode or whatever it was, and Kylie was in the kitchen, she was prepping something, and you all know she rides too. But I'm sitting there watching this and getting a chuckle out of it because of the music they're portraying. Of course, is the Hollywood embellishment of it to add to the drama. And then, Meatball Rebel says chips. Yeah, you can't forget chips. But they're talking about this guy, and he's being told to become an informant for him, right? And so he goes to their area whatever, and his way in is he goes into the bar that's their club bar, and this for this particular chapter or charter. And he goes up to the VP, and he's like, I want to buy you a beer. And he says, why the hell do you want to do that? And he told a lie and said he was in prison and a Vago saved his life. So he wanted to, when he got out, he wanted to buy a Vago a beer. So fast forward in the series of the episodes, 2 or 3 months later, whatever, they invite him to be a hang around, or they invite hang around in Prospect. And I was like, I told my wife, I was like, that's the first one, if nothing else, that's the first one that you're going to see you call complete bullshit on this series, because before they even invited him to hang around and be a prospect, he openly admitted on there during the show that he'd never been on a motorcycle, doesn't own one, doesn't even know how to ride one. Have you ever heard of a 1%er MC prospecting in a person who does not know how to ride?
There's an Australian, same thing, a video, movies, series, whatever, an Australian 1%er club that done the same thing. The guy was ex-military, and he got to talk to the bikers, and they just had so much in common. He said, you need to run with us. And he says, well, what do I need to do to run with you? And he says, first, you need to get a bike. Well, I've never been on a bike. Well, we'll take care of that. You just get a bike.
But they prospected this guy in the TV series. Dude, they handed this guy the prospect patch before he even had a bike or knew how to ride anything.
Oh, really?
He was driving a damn truck around.
Wow.
I'm like, come on, guys. If you're going to do a Hollywood story like this, at least
do your research.
Well, like the Charlie Sheen movie, that was decent. I actually like that movie. Or Brian Bosworth. The Boss had that one.
I didn't see the Bosworth one, but Beyond the Law was Charlie Sheen's.
Yeah. But then he had a couple shows for a while with Sons of Anarchy.
The Mayans. They did the Discovery version. They did the other channels trying to keep up with FX when they saw the popularity of Sons of Anarchy. They were doing, and they were trying to play it real, like reality TV.
Yeah, they had the Devil's Ride.
Yeah.
There was one that it was funny because it was basically all these bikers were like 300 pounds, and they were based out of like New Jersey, and it was like they were all like going to eat. And that's basically all they wanted to do was eat and ride. And I can't remember the name of that show.
That's not an MC. That's any road club, riding club, or motorcycle organization or association.
That sounds like the people I run with.
Yeah.
Let's go eat. Let's grab ice cream.
I'm about to say, it's your average hog chapter.
Right.
Well, hell, that's fam.
I know.
Right.
Here we got some curvy roads down here, but let's go eat at this place.
We don't talk about RoboCop 2 or the remake. That's good, Derek. So let me ask y'all something, just out of curiosity for conversational purposes. Everybody in here has obviously a social media presence, platforms, whatever, from Instagram to YouTube, whatever. Do you mix? Do you share? Do you merge your professional life, your social media life, or your family life, or personal life all across it all, or do you leave them separated?
With the exception of Kristen being on Instagram, obviously because she's taking up writing as well, everything stays separate. I have to have it that way, or I'll
mine's me. That's why I've always said, like, my YouTube channel is me. That's why there's so many different interests and stuff on there. Same thing with my Instagram. Other than me having a separate Instagram for the Maverick, I just thought, the Maverick being new, I needed to have a separate page for that. But, I mean, if you look at my Instagram, I'm sure it pisses a lot of people off that I do 90% Lego posts now. But you're following, you follow the Lawson Ranger page, that's me. You're following my life, Yeah, I share my YouTube stuff on there, but again, my YouTube is me. I'm not bullshitting, like I've done my review. Yeah, review. Yeah.
My question isn't so much for the challenge or the suspicion or whatever. Put your word in there, of saying fraud or that you're putting up a farce. Anybody is. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Do you, in regular conversation or in regular life, if you're talking with family, or if you're talking work stuff, right? Hey, I've got a live chat I have to do at 1:00 on Sunday, so I'm unavailable. Do you say that kind of stuff?
Yes.
Is that, or do you just say, I got an appointment, I got something, a prior commitment? Do you stay, you know what I mean? Because you can say, I'm on a live stream that I do with a friend monthly, and I can't do it because I'm committed to that thing. Is that what you say?
Yeah. I haven't kept it secret that I have a YouTube channel, obviously. I like being a promotional slut when it comes to that. I mean, I leave my spam cards laying around at work.
Yeah, I do stuff like that too. Yeah, I'm just like, you know what? Sunday I'm busy. I'm doing this live stream thing. So
I could have been working. I could have had 12 hours of overtime today if I wanted it, and I said no. I want to do this.
I tell family members and friends that if I'm doing a live stream or something like my YouTube related, but as far as advertisement, I'm bad for not kind of mixing my stuff on say Facebook or Instagram with what I put on my YouTube channel. So a lot of people out there will post their videos to Facebook. I'm bad for not doing that. I don't know why.
That's me. I'm the same way.
If I put a video out, I just put it out when it comes out, and then I'm bad for not advertising it. And I think if I did
I'm just curious for anybody.
Yeah. That's like when I share to Instagram, it automatically goes to Facebook. I just have everything linked. And if you go to my Facebook, I've got one friend that gets pissed all the time because what's with all the fucking hashtags? I'm like, that's how you promote yourself. You gotta you hashtag the fuck out of everything. Like there's a hashtag for anything you do, and that's how you get.
I can't remember to do all stuff.
Well, that's how you get people people that don't follow you already can, as long as you have an open page that people can look at. they can see the hashtag. Oh, this person hashtag Maverick or hashtag Indian or Harley or Lego or tits or boobs or ass or whatever you're promoting that day. TNA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a whole separate Facebook page just for the channel and then myself. And depending on the video, like bigger videos, like BAM stuff, I'll post on both. That way, family can see my road trip and stuff like that. But for the most part, I don't spam my own personal stuff with my YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
On social media, in person, I'll be like, hey, by the way, I'm doing this. But
yeah,
I try not to.
I'm kind of a mix with Ryan. I'm kind of a mix between you and Nick as far as that goes. I mean, I have on my YouTube channel, on my cover whatever it is. I have a schedule posted of when I'll share videos, right? And frankly, if I have a video finished, then I'll just schedule it for one of those days. I don't post immediately, but I haven't posted in months. But having said that, I have a Facebook page for the channel, but what you see on there is mostly what other people have shared on it, or what has been shared as a result of my sharing on Instagram that I'm linked to. But I try to keep those separate as far as my personal page. But at the same time, like I said, I asked that because I was talking to somebody yesterday or Thursday. I can't remember what. Anyway, some day later in the week, yesterday or day before, and I just was like, "Yeah, I have a live stream I'm doing on Sunday," and that thought just came up earlier when I had stepped away from the camera a second ago, and I was like, I wonder if anybody else or what do you all do?
Right. Yeah. The
because there comes a balance that also requires, if you're depending on how you do it, that there's a balance I know that comes with that.
The family members that I still converse with regularly, they all know, and they're actually subscribed to my channel. I've gotten some shit recently by my brothers. I haven't posted content. I have the TF Guy page because for whatever reason Facebook wouldn't let me create a Throttle Fiend, so it had to be TF Guy. But I have a personal Facebook account. I probably haven't logged into it in like 12 years. It's just my mom's side's fine. My dad's side, it's a whole lot of passive aggressive drama that I just don't want to see or deal with. So, and after my brother Brandon died, like I said, about 12 years ago, I just said, so it still exists. I just haven't logged into it.
Yeah, I have 2 Facebook pages. I started one for my YouTube channel, and then I just kind of it's too much work having separate pages. And like I said, most of the time people just go on, like. Did you actually read anything? You see a picture, that's like nobody takes time, and it's like scroll.
Well, that's funny you say that, CDL, because that's one thing that we struggle with on the support bikers page.
Yeah,
because a lot of people and I'm not dog. I'm just saying it's truth in statistics shares this. Makes this a fact. Is that a lot of people go on and there's been some that have been blocked or kicked out because they don't ever contribute anything in there other than on that Monday when they're sharing, or they try to go in there, join the page and share their video, their content any day of the week that they want to, and then they never contribute any.
They don't give
value back to anybody to say, hey, this is a good product, or this is a good, try this when you're whatever. It's like, that's not what that, we're not there to, it's not there to be a billboard for your videos. There's one, it's there to help other people to learn to, if they want to become better at that craft.
Yeah.
Take care, HH Plymouth. You have a good one, man. Ride safe if you can get out.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Definitely. Thanks for showing up, and stay shining side up, brother.
Yeah, we've been consistently at 11 so far today. Yeah, I'm always thankful.
Well, don't forget today's turn left day. Bristol races. I don't know what time it's at.
3:30.
3:30.
Okay.
Yep. Circle jerks at 3:30.
Right?
Well, no, because as per usual, I let Jay Sutliff, which those of you who have seen him on the stream before and all that, he's got medical issues. He was showering the other day and he fell and broke some vertebrae in his back.
Wow.
And he was in the hospital. And he follows the Northeast dirt track scene, huge. So there was a race on yesterday, and I'm like, just to give you a heads up, I don't know if you're going to be able to make it or not because of the NASCAR race, but we have a live stream at 1:00, and all that. So I, like last one we had, I let him know, and I wasn't sure if he was going to be here or not. Unfortunately, he didn't make it, and it looks like he didn't make it today, which that's fine. I just want to make sure I was let him know.
Yeah, he's been here.
I didn't see him in there today.
Well, that's what, like, the last couple times, I think I kind of bumped it up to 1:00. One was because of Daytona, but, like, I kind of sit around and do nothing all day waiting for the stream to start, too, I'm like, well, I can't start working on something because I got the stream later. So
yeah, I like the 1:00 better anyhow.
Yeah. The last time, a couple of you guys bailed out early, and we still stayed on until, like, 4:00. So that ended up being, like, a 3-hour and something live stream, and I'm like, I think that was our biggest turnout as far as live. We had like maybe 18 to 20 people on.
Yeah.
Overall, I think 90 something people ended up watching it. That's about average. I don't know how YouTube figures that out, but because I've had live streams with a lot more.
Be careful.
What's that?
I was just saying to Rogue Andy, don't tell this doctor. I said, all I'm going to tell you is be careful.
Yep. I understand completely, but like Toby said, Andy, please be careful. So other than McStash, because we know he pretty much rides year round. Has anybody else? Well, at CDL you got the Chonda. Yeah. Has anybody actually officially pulled their bike out for the season yet?
Yeah, I've
ridden.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I'm on medical restriction right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've done a little over 400 miles this year. Yeah. I've done over 400 miles this year so far. I've had the Indian out 4 times because we actually had decent weather and the roads kind of cleared up. And then, like I said, we had nice weather yesterday, and then it's snowing today. And that's the way it's been all winter.
Yeah, same here. There's been a couple of times where it was like damn near 65 degrees out, and I was like, but the roads were still salty.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't have a place to currently wash my bike down after I get back with it. And then, like, literally the next day, we got like an inch of snow. And of course, they were yet again salting the shit out of the road. So I'm like, you know what?
We had last Sunday, I went up and spent a couple hours with my daughter doing stuff, and it fucking snowed so hard it was nasty. The slushy wet shit.
Yep.
They salted the piss out of it, and then the rest of the week it's been 50s, 60s. I'm like, God damn it. It's been real nice weather till last night. I ended up working overtime last night till 11 o'clock, and it's just it poured out. It fucking poured out. It was one of those things where the rain was blowing across the road. My truck's too. Yeah. So now the truck's got no salt and everything on it. You figure the roads got washed down. It's snowing today. Like, damn it. Like, I'm thinking, I can ride this week. No, I'll be on the Chonda. I probably rode maybe 30 miles last week on the Chonda, just bombing around. But
usually, if I don't ride other days of the week, I'll usually ride to work on Thursday because it's the one day of the week I actually have to physically go in. And my biggest challenge on those days here has been rain. Not that I can care less if I get caught in it on the way, but if it says it's going to rain, if it's forecasted to rain all day, I'll look at the Doppler. And if the Doppler shows that mass going across the area, then I'll just drive in the truck. To me, it's I'm not making some long Sturgis trips, so I'm not going to waste my time and go to work for that. But it's like I think there was one day in January where I rode in, and they said they thought I was crazy because it was the ride-in temperature was 25 degrees or 20, whatever. I'm like, that's nothing but layers, man. Y'all need to grow up,
right? Right.
That's
cold's never bothered me.
Toby.
Yeah.
Heated seat. Have you ever had a heated seat yet?
I have.
Oh. Wow.
I don't have one on this one, but I did have one on. I put one on the CVO and then took it off because that particular model of it raised me up too much and pushed me too far forward, and I was like, I don't like this at all. So
that's a game changer, like heated hand grips are. It makes that world of difference.
Yeah.
Oh, the heated gloves made a huge difference for me. Like I commute in the mornings now, so I'm going so early in the morning now. So.
Yeah, heated gloves, heated jacket liner, heated pants liner. I have all those. Those are great. And I'm telling you what, that heated seat is the bomb. Dude, it's pretty sharp. Well, now I'm on medical, so I couldn't ride. But if I would have been able to ride on the way back from Daytona when we hit the 20-degree temperature, it would have been doable on a bike if you had the heated gear and the heated seat.
Yeah.
26 and little white things in the air, but thank goodness we was not on the bike.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you went down to Daytona, you guys drove down? Is that what I'm understanding? I'm not knocking. I'm just curious.
Yeah, we did
not
not
the official
ride
answer?
the bike down there, and the wife has the license, so she drove when we were down there.
I got you. No, I got you.
How much riding is there really to do down there in Daytona, though?
That depends upon the person.
I would say I've heard this. Depending on the area, it's almost impossible to ride. You have to get out of like the general
I mean, well,
area.
that's no different than Sturgis. I have been to Daytona, but everybody that's again dependent upon the person, because if you're on Main Street Sturgis, you guys who have been there know that's crowded as shit. Going stop, you're walking it or practicing slow maneuvers, stop sign to stop sign. If you break out of that area, and it's gorgeous to drive around. And Daytona is not not scenic.
Yeah.
It may not be scenic, but you get away from. Go ahead, Mr. Ashman. You were down there.
Again, exactly what you said. It depends on the person. You can go to VAM, and you can. And I'm not slamming anybody. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I've done it in my day. You go to VAM, you could sit at the hotel and smoke cigars and drink beer. I had my time when I done that.
Yeah.
Or you can go to VAM, and you can put 2,000 miles just in Virginia on your bike. I mean, it all depends on what you want to do. If you want to ride, for instance, we called base camp St. Augustine, which is 45 minutes down to Daytona. So if nothing else, you got that ride every day,
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you got to think also Florida in that area, up and down that coast. I have not been to Daytona as far as riding, but I've been down that coast before and driving just in travel. And if you're into it, all over the country really, but there's a shit ton of history.
Well,
there's all sorts of stuff down there. I mean,
the highway in Florida that runs along the coast is the 1A.
Yeah.
And Black Phoenix, Throttle Fiend, they can all tell you the highway up where they live that runs along the coast is the 1A. You can run that thing all the way up through there.
Yep.
So
that's what Kylie and I want to do because
it depends on the time of year.
Yep.
I've been on the 1A.
No, we've got our
right now. Ohio's not scenic, but there's times.
Kylie and I have our pictures with our bikes when we rode from here up through Canada up to Maine to see her family for a reunion or her great aunt's 90th birthday last summer. We stopped and got our pictures right there at the 1A sign, the beginning of 1A right there at the Canadian border. And one of our plans is to hit that and to go down the entire 1A down into Florida one year. But that's one thing she and I, as far as that are concerned, are complementary to each other, kind of, sort of, because there's times where, you know, I'm 5 years older than her, and there's, you know, we all get there. There's days where you're just like, I don't feel like fucking riding, right? I'd rather just sit in a hammock or on a porch or something and just chill out for a day or, you know, 6 hours or whatever. And her thought process is, I rode up to this location to ride around. I didn't go up here to sit. And so there's times where I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Go with her and jump into it. Let's get into it. Let's have fun. And I never regret that. So like you say, it depends upon the person. What is your intent when you go down to a place like Daytona or any place with rallies? You're going to have people say, oh, there's, you know, tons of people and there's, you know, it's all, you know, overwhelming if you don't like to be around crowds. Yeah, there's segments of that around there, but you get away from those spots and there are empty roads, there's back roads, there's all sorts of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah, it would.
I mean, just in general, Daytona, even not during bike week, I mean, it's a fairly busy metropolitan area anyway. So you add all those extra people, but like you said, no matter where you're at, you know, you go like at Sturgis, you know, if you're there during a time when it's not Sturgis bike week, you want to ride the Black Hills, you want to go see the Crazy Horse Memorial, all that stuff. That's some beautiful riding.
Yeah.
See, Sturgis is the one I would say is the exception, because in Sturgis there's so many people there. It's like DC during Rolling Thunder. If you are a rider, if that's why you're there to ride, you're still going to be stacked on, and gridlocked with bikes. Those are the two things. Daytona, there was the room you could get out and go away and ride. But when the Sturgis experience and the Rolling Thunder DC experience I've had, there's so many bikes.
Yeah.
There's no riding worth riding unless you go out.
Yeah.
2 hours, 3 hours.
I mean, I haven't, crazy enough, I haven't done the dragon yet, but there are people that could say, yeah, the Sturgis area, like the Needles Highway and all that kind of stuff, during the week of Sturgis, it's probably like the Tail of the Dragon equivalent from the, you know, that small factor of everybody on the weekend is trying to ride the Tail of the Dragon or during the summertime or whatever. So it's cramped with bikers. But I mean, you go to Daytona, you go down in that area, and I was just looking just to make sure before I say that, but you've got like you said, McStash, you've got Jacksonville, St. Augustine down in that spot, right? You got Tampa over here, and then you got like Miami and West Palm Beach down here. So you got that triangle area, and Daytona is right there, and Orlando's there. So anything in that side of that triangle is going to be freaking traffic, period.
Yeah, because inside that triangle, you got little places like D-Land, and they're having their own stuff too. They're getting that money.
Yep.
But yeah, at least just once. I want to hit Daytona once, hit Sturgis once, just get the experience, and then, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Say I've been there.
Yeah, exactly. You finished rubbing it out?
Yeah. Giggity, giggity.
He got her done.
Yeah. Since I said Sturgis, people, you know, if you're not a big crowd person, the riding's great up there. You know, I went during the 80th, but obviously that was COVID, so there wasn't as many people that probably should have been there. But again, go downtown, experience it, the rally.
Yeah.
But then get out and ride the roads. That's what I said. With like Florida is always like, to me, that's like straight roads, and I know there's probably scenery along the ocean and stuff.
I was going to say the scenery is what will get you in Florida. Florida's just beautiful. Florida's like Hawaii. If you're in the tourist area, it's all made to look beautiful, like, you know, a TV movie. So yeah, it's pretty, but
yeah, if you're looking for curvy roads, that's not the place to go.
No. But Ohio's the place to go if you want curvy roads.
Hell yeah. Triple Nickel is back on, you know, is back on my bucket list to do again.
Yeah.
Sooner rather than later on my own bike this time.
Yeah. I keep thinking about, I know we did it a couple years ago with, I don't know what that is. With Bubba and stuff. We had the Two Broke for Sturgis meetup that was just kind of like a one-day thing.
Yeah.
I will never forgive myself for missing that, man. To the day I die, I will never forgive myself.
I'd like to do something like that again some point. Just like a one day. I know not everybody's going to be able to make it because we all live different distances and stuff.
But, no, honestly, if it's the same area you did the last one, like that's a day out for me, hang out for a day, and then ride back. So.
Well, the Two Broke for Sturgis I did in Ohio.
So it'd be a day and a half. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because basically what we did is we found a central point because Bubba was from Indiana.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I came from PA and McStash came up from southern part of Ohio or whatever. We went to a shitty barbecue place, but it was cool because we got to hang out and
No, that's what it is more than anything. The ride and hang out.
And that's I kind of like to. I wouldn't mind, like I said, I always say I'd like to have another meetup again, but just try to find a time when people aren't going to be busy doing other shit.
That's going to be the hard part is the time. The place isn't necessarily because if you look at where our people from our stream are, your riders will ride there. It's just if they have the time to get there.
Oh, yeah. So I'd say that meetup I had was decent other than the weather being shitty that one day. The biggest thing is just trying to get...
I thought it rained the whole time you had that meetup.
Yeah, I mean, the whole meetup was 3 days, and it rained the one day we rode.
Where did you meet in Ohio?
Yeah. Because
no, they didn't meet. I had the Ohio, and we met up at a place called the Windy Nine.
Yeah.
It's in... I just lost it.
Athens?
Yeah, Athens.
Yes. Athens, Ohio is where we had to meet up.
Yeah, well, where did Chris meet for his...
Pennsylvania.
Oh, they got small.
Pennsylvania, okay.
Yeah, it's like central Pennsylvania area.
Unless you're talking about the Two Broke for Sturgis.
That
was North Ohio somewhere.
Yeah, that was in Ohio.
It was close to Sandusky area, kind of.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was right after I had my surgery on my wrist, so I just...
yeah.
I will be forever pissed at myself for not being there.
We had it right after the first VAM, I think, like maybe 2-3 weeks.
Yep. Well, and who knew? I mean, I spent a lot of quality time. Bubba and I talked a lot up at Clinch Mountain during VAM 2021. So, we got to talk and all that, which was great. But, I mean, you never know. And I mean, obviously, you don't know when God's going to call your ticket. That would have been the last time, I would have been able to see him and all that. So I'll never forgive myself for that.
Well, that's what I was out riding one day too. And the last time I ended up talking to Bubba, I butt dialed on the Instagram chat. And that's what I think McStash answered and Bubba answered. I was out riding and I stopped at a Dollar General to get my beef jerky and whatever that I generally do when I do my local rides.
Jerky's beef.
Yeah. But I ended up talking to Bubba. He was at work working on a boat engine or whatever, and he answered.
Yeah.
And that was the last time I ever heard from him.
I remember hearing about that. Yeah, in the chat.
All right, guys, I got to go. That's it for me.
All right.
Heal up, brother. Heal up.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah, what are we at? We're at 3 o'clock, 3:05 now. We got 2 hours in. Yeah, on my screen, my live viewers thing won't shut off. Trying to get it to shut off.
It says still got 10 watching now. So.
Yeah.
No big deal. Not going to be like on the yellow, but Toby, check your phone, man.
What's that?
Check your phone.
Who?
One thing also talking about, getting older and this. So one thing I definitely learned is I don't even care if it's in a car. I am never doing Route 66 again in late July. And Jason's gone now, but I know DA Bishop Dale will agree.
Yeah,
it's either going to be early spring or late spring or early fall.
Yeah, it's another trip that's on my list that I gotta.
Yeah. We're doing. Kristen and I are doing a run in 2026 because that's the 100th anniversary of it. So supposedly thank you, Toby. All the little towns are pulling out all the stops. Obviously I'll have stuff out there. I know I say this all the time, and whatever, but I'm actually in that mode. I've got a lot of videos, most of which just need a little bit of editing. I'm back into content creation mode. I will be making content again. As some of you have noticed, I have popped back on Instagram again. It's been rough. As you know, in the chat, I've been fighting with the VA over my wonderful gifts that my Uncle Sam bequeathed to me. I have some positives, some stuff kind of still up in the air, kind of waiting to find out what's going on. But I miss creating content. I miss everything, and so especially now with Kristen getting her bike, and we're going to be riding together and stuff like that. We're definitely going to be at VAM, and all that. Toby, I have a question for you, but regardless of how that goes, you will see Kristen and I, and Kylie will see Kristen and I at some point this summer. We will come down and go riding with y'all because
absolutely.
I'd like to get up and see you too, Ryan, and CDL if somehow I can pry 5 minutes. Five minutes.
Wrong word usage. I don't think you enter any of them once you get up when you go to see them.
Even if it's just beating up at Moto Z to go test ride a couple of zeros. I'd like to see you. Well, wait, you'll be at VAM too, but
I'll be at VAM.
But still, I'd like for us to do a ride in our area as well. And as I said before, you're only 2 hours away. I've basically been quote unquote retired since October. I have enough of a nest egg right now set aside. I want to work. I'm going house happy right now. I'm literally losing my mind. That's why I can't wait for the salt to get off the road. But I don't have to go back to work until 2025 if things don't pan out correctly. So I've got nothing but time on my hands. So if anybody wants to do any riding, hit up old Throttle Fiend, let me know, and I will. I'll make it happen.
How far are you from Lake George?
I'm in Rochester, so I'm trying to think. Syracuse, I think, was a couple hours, which is where I grew up. So maybe 3-4 hours at most.
But that's how long it would take me to get there. Yeah. So
that's what I said. I want to do Laconia. I want to do Americade. Now that if everything works out, Kristen currently works as an inpatient nurse, but she's switching to outpatient as of like the first week of August or April. So she'll be working 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday. So she'll have her weekends off. She'll have her holidays off. No more 13-hour shifts. So really looking forward to that.
Is she done officially certified and all that stuff now?
She's been for a little bit over a year now. Yep. She's
nice.
She's working on her BSN now. I don't know about other states, but here in New York, you have 10 years once you reach your RN to get your BSN.
I've been BSing for 20 years. At least.
Only 20? I've been BSing for 52.
Yeah. If I was a nurse, I'd be an inpatient nurse. All right, get the fuck out of your bed, you bastard. Do it yourself. Let's go. Inpatient BS nurse.
Any of y'all go up? I mean, most of y'all, a couple of y'all live up near that area of Lake George from, is it Motorcade?
American.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
What is like 81 to 88? Like, is that the best way to go from like if you're south? Because there's a couple. I don't think I'm gonna go this year, but I was wondering because there's a route to go that takes you through New York, and I was like, I don't know if that's a good idea. But if you go like 88 to, I think it's 90 to 87. It looks like
90 comes through my area. If you do 90, you come through my area. Then you hit up like Buffalo and Rochester.
Yeah, part of me goes up to 81 to 88.
81's a good straight run.
Yeah, 81 is what I would take. But I just was wondering what traffic is like up. It's kind of more. It looks like it's more in central New York.
There's not much. It's farmland. It's all farmland.
Okay. Yeah. As long as I avoid the probably the more busier New York City area.
Avoid the city. That's the problem.
As long as you avoid the city and the Albany area, you're good.
Actually, it does go through Albany.
You'll probably 81 goes on the outskirts, so you really won't have to worry about too much traffic. I mean, obviously, if you hit it at rush hour time, I mean that's true of any semi decent sized city. But 81's a nice straight shot for the most part.
Okay. Thanks for the advice.
Yeah, I mean, Lake George so close. I can do a long weekend with Americade. So
it looks like it's about 8 hours for me.
Yeah, pretty much at this point right now, other than BAM, because that's the one thing we have scheduled to get for the two of us together. Everything is basically just down to people's schedules. And when I say people, I mean Kristen and I, whether she can make it or not, or what have you.
Yeah, and for me, I make a day trip to Laconia because it's so close. It just makes sense. So.
Yeah, I'm just answering D.A. Bishop's question there. You guys might have seen that, but he asked me if I was going to VAM, and I can tell you right now, Kylie and I don't have any, for this riding season, as you call it, we don't have any plans to leave the state this year. So,
how many hours away are you? How far is it from VAM?
It's not that far. It's not the distance, really. It's it's like 6 hours tops.
6 hours. Okay.
It's for us right now. It's not the.
We just came back from that huge cruise.
Yeah. That's the big piece of it because the cruise was. Yeah, we'll just leave that there. So we're just the biggest piece for us is neither one of us are campers. I'm not even going to try and play that camping game.
I want to do it once.
I'm done with camping. I've done it enough. So
I was about to say, there's time and place for everything, and mine for that was under the employ of the U.S. Army.
No, I'm looking at some other possibilities as far as lodging goes for doing stuff, and if that works out, then we might do it. But I'm not going to commit to any kind of plans right now, just in case it doesn't pan out. So
Well, hopefully not to spoiler warning or anything, but my conversation kind of has something to do with that when we talk.
No worries.
Yeah, that's what I thought because we're doing the pre-VAM ejaculation trip or whatever. We haven't had an official.
Really?
I didn't agree to that.
We haven't come up with an official name for that trip. We changed the chat name, or I changed the chat name about once a week.
I've been calling it Dragon Week, but that's just for my channel. I don't know what the official name of the whole trip is.
Yeah, the pre-VAM ejaculation road tour.
If Kristen and I weren't going together, I probably would have joined you, gentlemen.
Yeah, that just sounds right. Your timing on that response is just bad.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Ew, girls, no.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Oh, hey.
Wait, there's a woman going to be there?
Oh yeah, no.
They're embarrassing. Those women are embarrassing. They got boobs and stuff.
Yeah. Any of you guys going to Pam?
Nah, If we weren't doing this trip, I probably would have done Pam.
I mean, it's actually a month apart. So the Pam is in June.
If any of y'all end up deciding to go, let me know. And I'll see if I can pencil it in on my calendar. I'm not going to go to a place where I'm going to literally know nobody.
Yeah. It's going to be...
I don't like huge crowds, but I got to know at least one person.
Well, that's, I mean, Pam, what he's talking, I mean, I don't know if you've met him, but Pam is Be the Rider PA is the one trying to set it up. He's got, the dude is put, if you go onto the event page for it, he's done a ton of research.
Yeah.
Sharing shit. I mean, he's a veteran as well. He's a retired, he's a combat vet, matter of fact. So
I met him on the first road trip I ever did when they had the West Virginia meetup.
Yeah. So
he's basically the one. Yeah, he was a HOG chapter president.
Yeah.
He kind of he knew all that area for West Virginia. So I like talking to him. He hangs out with HDR and all them. Most of the time at the meetups,
Well, Rogla, Andy, you kind of have a different you and he have different perspectives on the riding. Your how should we say, your interests of riding are different as far as, I guess, I don't know. I guess you've ridden through there and said that you're not a fan of the riding area, and he has said there's tons of riding around the area. So I don't know. I don't live up in that area, so
that's about 3 hours from me, honestly.
Yeah. But he has shared a ton of restaurants and spots and whatever on the PAM webpage, on the PAM event page, to stoke interest.
It's just the date of where it falls for me, because then you got America, Laconia, then that, and then Van.
Yeah.
So it's
the thing with me is, like, I only had money to do one trip this year.
Yeah.
Had I not been doing all the stuff where we're going down to the Dragon and doing all that, I probably would have done that meetup and then had time to do VAM too.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, he even called the host. He even reached out and got with the host hotel. I think it's I want to say it's in the Choice Hotels network, I believe.
Yeah.
But I mean, I went and looked at the rooms under regular rate, and then I called the front desk to get the room rate. And he did a good job with getting a discount. Yeah. It's like it was considerable.
Yeah, you're almost always better calling them directly than trying to go through the website or worse yet, Expedia.
Yeah.
That area isn't that far from Athens, Ohio, though. Honestly, it's really not that much. It might not be as mountainous, but there's still going to be stuff to do.
Well, that's why he said that's a good spot, because it's like West Virginia, you got Ohio, you got PA, all right in that area. And he was saying that it's, you got a lot of, if you, look around, you got some options for riding there. They may not be the twistbacks of the Smoky Mountains, but there you go, Road Glide. Yeah, there's a ton of riding, but I ride it all the time, and it should be back to work by then. So he's, I get that. I get that entirely.
Yeah. Like, I would have liked to have done that one, but I mean, I got 2 kids graduating high school. Yeah. I've got a trip with my daughter for one of her concerts. It's like I was kind of squeezing it in between everything. So
and that's
I would like to.
What I was talking about as far as one of the options was using like points through like hotels.
Yep.
And I might be able to swing that, but the problem with that is, and I'm not knocking anybody for the choice of whatever they use, but Kylie and I over the years, we've kind of been spoiled to a standard for hotels, right? So I mean, it's like every place we've gone, we've stayed at Holiday Inns and we've loved it, and we've tried to stay at other chains as well, and for the most part, they just don't do the same level to something. And it also depends upon geographic where you go, that kind of stuff as well, but. Like if we were to go to PAM, we wouldn't be staying at the host hotel. We'd probably stay at the nearest Holiday Inn, which is I think right next door, nearby it. But it is what it is. So he said he'll stop up in the evenings and visit. Yeah, I hope it turns out to be a good turnout, because, like I said, if nothing else, he's really putting a lot of work into this.
Oh yeah, Yeah, I kind of feel bad not going. Like I said, it's only 3 hours from me, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not one of those things. Oh, I can ride down 3 hours, do whatever, and go home. It's just it ain't gonna happen. By the time you enjoy the day, that's 6 hours round trip.
Yeah.
This will probably stir up a little bit, but I'll also say this: he's also doing this to, should we say, I don't want to say disprove somebody, but he's also doing this to say, how do you put somebody when you say put up or shut up? You know, he's trying to put it towards other people that will say, you know, they propose all these great ideas, but don't actually do the physical work behind it. He's like, this is how it goes. This is how you do it. You know.
Yeah.
So good times.
Yeah. Well, here's the kicker about, you know, Mr. G doesn't have a huge following.
Yeah.
He's got a decent amount of subscribers, but like he's always had a great turnout. He works hard.
To the point, exactly. Yeah.
He always gets a decent turnout.
Yes.
Regardless of whatever else is going on. And that area of Virginia is not a very wealthy area. It's not like, you know,
right.
You don't need to. Oh, I'm going to go to Hawaii on vacation. You know, my vacation, I'm getting on the fucking motorcycle. I don't care if I got to eat at, you know, the hotel every morning. And you know, there has been decent food. It's not great.
Real glad, Andy. That's a nice way to put it too. He was pushed into doing it. That's a funny way to put it. No, but you're right though, CDL. I mean, Mr. G, man, he set the standard for it. I mean, if you, God, I mean, y'all look back to 21, 22 when he first did that. The relationships that have been formed as a result of that, in-person meetup that are they're
all right.
Yeah, it's given me a road trip every year, you know, to go down there. And I don't have those roads up here. You know, it's all city driving up here. So it's totally, I have no problem going down that area every year and just riding around.
And there's so many roads down here that we haven't even rode yet that, you know, you could spend, you know, many trips back and forth doing that.
That's where I want to have a meetup on the east side of Pennsylvania too. That's like west side of Pennsylvania. There's nothing. We don't have mountains. We don't have, you know, every morning at the hotel, regardless of what hotel I stayed at VAM, I'd open it up and, you know, you sit there and have my coffee and just stare off into the mountains.
Yeah.
You know, fog every morning.
I don't know about everyone else, but for me, if these meets were almost back to back, it would be easier to get the time off. It's almost easier for me to ask for like a 2-week block and be like, all right, let me bang out this meet, and then go home. Rather than do the week, go to work for 3 weeks and ask for another week off.
Right.
It's almost,
that's how
go ahead.
Laconia and Americade used to be like
they were back to back.
Yeah. That's how they used to be. And I can remember going up to like that area and seeing bikes going from one place to the other. You know, I wasn't on my bike, but.
Well, that's kind of what I was about to say also that you just said was with you guys being up in your neck of the woods.
It's hard.
The bike, what do you call it? The bike-cade or whatever it was, that in Laconia, if they're close in timing to each other, that's boom, boom, boom. You know, it's same concept for us down here in the Midwest area, in the top of the South, if you will, in Kentucky. It's like that PAM 24 and VAM 24 are both like right there. They're 6 hours. That's a day trip there. So, I mean, at most. So it's, you know.
Yeah.
That's a good Adirondacks meetup. Yeah.
Yeah, Adirondacks is beautiful. I've never been on a bike, but those mountains are gorgeous.
I haven't either. I've been through it in cars and Mustangs and all that.
I'll be right back.
All right. But yeah, like the Adirondacks, like I said, my wife and I went in August one time. I think I'd want to have the meetup in like July or June, because we went in August one time and I woke up to go get breakfast at the hotel and it was 30 degrees out in August. We were like right outside Whiteface Mountain. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you're not getting up in the morning and doing a long distance ride. I mean, unless you want to pack like 2 types of gear for the day. You know,
Yeah,
be prepared for 30 in the morning and then 80 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But I keep talking about the Poconos.
I'm going to be buying just an extra saddlebag hardcover for the Riker this year for this trip.
Yeah.
I need the extra storage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So I think we all watch wrestling, don't we? Do you watch wrestling, Nick?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be a yeah. Let me talk to you. I need to start doing my videos with the let me talk to you.
Yeah.
I want to do another trailer for my channel at some point, and I want it to be like a wrestling promo. Because my intro was my early intro was just Seth Rollins's song, but now it's kind of like mixed where I have Seth Rollins, I have who else? Because I have 3 different wrestling themes mixed in that like 10 seconds. I need to redo it. I would actually like to have one intro that covers the motorcycle, the reviews, the camping, and everything. Because I have a thing saved on my thing for just when I edit video. Oh, I got to use this intro or that intro. I want to have one that kind of encompasses everything. But at some point, I want to change my channel name too. I think it kind of hurts my views because people are like, what the fuck? I can't type this whole thing in. That's why I've gone to the @CDL NEPA every time I do stuff now because it's easier.
Or what about Lawson Ranger?
Yeah. I don't know. That doesn't sound exciting. I want something like I don't want to do adventures with because it's not just adventures. I go on one adventure or 2 a year. You know, I want to have something that would encompass working on shit, you know, the car, the bike, the camper, you know, whatever, road trips.
Yeah, coming up with a new channel name is pretty hard sometimes to come up with the right catch.
Yeah.
Toby was speaking on that.
Yeah, then you got new stickers, and I did new stickers for last year. I got a few left, but still, if I was going to redo my channel name, I'd have to do all that spam cards. I might have to do something for the trip.
I just need to put out more videos. That's my problem. Is I get I got a few that are posted or coming out, you know, or I need to publish, but it's just making the videos. I usually don't make them, and I'm not like people out there that backlog videos that you know, I run out, so I've got backlog of maybe 3 or 4 videos ahead, but I still need to go and make some more. But that usually doesn't come until the riding season when I start riding on the normal. Because if I don't ride here for like a month or 2 in the winter, then it's what's the point of making something? So
this has been the first year I haven't stressed about forcing to get a video out. This is the 3rd live stream. I think I might have 4 videos out, maybe 1 short this year. But it used to be like 1 or 2 every week constantly. Like I'd always put at least 5 videos out. Like this year, I'm like, yeah. And now I did the 50,000 mile review video for the Maverick, and that's got like 1,700 something views in a week, 10 days. So I'm like, I'm good. I haven't had a video get that big in a long time. So
nice.
I got
right.
Sorry, the last stream we talked about the what was it? What we use for video editing. Like some of y'all used. We talked about DaVinci Resolve and then Photoshop. So I got Photoshop. Like my wife actually got it through her work. So I installed it and set it up and everything, and was messing with it, and it was like so complicated. I was like, I don't know how in the world I'd be able to publish and make a video out of this. I mean, at least for me, it was a large learning curve because I'm used to DaVinci Resolve and how to use it, and then looking at like Photoshop and how to do all that. I was like, it'll take me like a week or 2 to figure out how to even make like a 2 or 3 minute video out of this. I don't know.
Yeah,
you have it, don't you, Throttle Fiend?
I do, but I've been using Adobe products for probably 20 years before I even got into YouTube. So it was just a natural progression.
Yeah.
And I still want to check out some other things because I kind of equate the Adobe Creative Cloud as using a sledgehammer to put in a penny nail.
Yeah.
I'm literally just scratching the surface of what it can do. I mean, major motion picture companies use it to do CGI and videos and stuff like that. I could probably get by with iMovie if I really, really wanted to. But I've been thinking about checking out DaVinci Resolve simply because it's free. I know some people kind of poo-poo. What's that one that David Batal used to use and that you used to use, Toby?
Filmora.
I know a lot of people don't like. I know a lot of people don't like it now because it used to be once you bought the license, you were good with updates for life, and now they went to kind of like a more subscription-ish type model.
Yeah, I got grandfathered into that, so because I had already.
I've from what the stuff that I have seen that it can do relatively easily has piqued my interest.
I just don't have the laptop for it. I mean, maybe I've just got too much shit on my laptop to be able to really do anything with DaVinci Resolve. But I've got it downloaded on my laptop, and I've got Filmora. I'm still using it. So for me, it's a combination of some version of between Filmora and CapCut, and someday maybe DaVinci Resolve. But anytime I try to do anything, especially 360 stuff with that. It's like click, okay, I'm gonna go eat something. Click, come back, go do something. Okay, now I'm gonna render and I'll be back in 2 days.
Yeah, well that's I mean, unless you got a bleeding edge machine, I mean that 360 video is tough for anybody to work on reliably.
Yeah, I've been looking at new or action cameras, trying to decide which one I want to get next, and I don't know. What do y'all think of the Insta360 or the Ace One Pro, or or even the Hero 12?
So, in my opinion, I haven't watched it yet. But if you really want the devil's advocate point of view, go watch Bikes, Beards, and Brews, Ben's.
I saw that. I watched that.
I haven't watched it yet, and whatever it is, I'm sure it's pessimistic. But he has a pessimistic yet realistic look at things when he looks at equipment. And I get his view. He'll give me the full end of the other side that you don't like.
Yeah, I saw his video the other day about the Ace Pro and.
I haven't watched it yet either.
But when he shared that he had a video on Instagram, look at other guys, because there were other guys in that comment thread that said they've had no issue with theirs and they love theirs. So I would go check their channel, see if they've got anything. Yeah, Roguelite Andy, I haven't figured it out yet, but I figured out the problem is with the camera. So I actually sent the camera computer, the little piece of the 360. I mailed it off to Insta360 earlier last week. This is Sunday, so last Monday or Tuesday, they're supposed to get it tomorrow, and they'll look at it because it didn't matter what. It was not my camera was not syncing up with the tablet. It wasn't syncing up with my phone. It wasn't syncing up with anything. It couldn't even detect the Wi-Fi from the camera. So I had to share with them a video off my phone of me trying to pair it up, and it wasn't doing it. So, but I love the One RS. I would love to get the X3.
They don't have the One RS or the S3 or whatever. They don't have removable batteries, do they?
Yeah,
they do. Okay.
Yep. Okay. They sure do.
Yep.
And arguably, some would start. They last longer than the GoPros.
Yeah, I have the 1R and I have the X3. Both are fantastic cameras. Again, just like bikes, they're tools. You need to sit down and seriously think about what you want to use it for. If your use case is worthwhile, then do it. Don't do it for the sake of doing it, because you could buy a cheap action camera to put on your handlebar. So you got the one on your helmet, you have one on handlebar shooting back at you. But like if you want to get a 360 camera and you get the motorcycle pack that comes with it, where you have the arm where you can put it on your swing arm or somewhere else where you can get like low to the ground footage and other things like that. That's great. But again, it really comes down to what you want to use it for. I bought the X3 right before we left for the Route 66 trip last year. I took a shit ton of footage with it. I haven't even looked at the footage yet. I'm sure it's going to be phenomenal, and it gives you that ability. But again, I got to mess with it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it, because there's this one town in Arizona where they had like an old West shootout, and I had it held up with the selfie stick where it takes out the stick in the recording, and got the whole thing, and I'm really looking forward to looking at that. But honestly, again, it all really comes down to what you're going to use it for, and
I'll tell you this, Tech. I'll tell you this, Nick, and Andy makes a good point there as well. That's one of the reasons why I jumped over onto the 361 RS, because, and the X3 has this variation as well, sort of. So the 1RS is a modular camera, so you can remove and change out the 360 option for a 4K camera. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it takes seconds to do that. I was doing that at the Milwaukee 120th Welcome Home. I'd ride it ride around. And then when I got off the bike, I would switch out the lens and just use it like a POV, like a one person view, and turn it around, whatever type. The X and Throttle Fiend can back me up on this, I believe, because I've seen people do it. You can actually choose the X3 or have the option with the X3 to do 360 or change it to a single one-sided view.
Yes, I did that on the Route 66 trip.
And put it on your helmet, and it will show one side of the camera, and it goes like a full 180.
So does it have the 1RS have a helmet mount for your helmet?
Yeah, it has.
I've never seen a.
See, I've always seen this.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just something I got for it, but you can do this by itself, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, his is highfalutin. I just use chinmounts.com. They 3D print
I use that for my GoPro.
I've got a chin mount as well, and so but I use this because I transfer it back and forth between the selfie stick and the whatever. So
yeah, I eventually want to do that. I want to either just a quick twist or magnetic, where you can switch it back between helmet and on the bike and wherever else. That's been on my bucket list for at least like a year now. I just haven't gotten around to doing it.
I don't mean to sound kind of dumb by this, but when you said the 1RS, I looked at it. That looks similar to the GoPro in a way, the way it's shaped. But the X3, it's like elongated. A completely different camera.
Yeah, so it's a rectangular. Yeah.
There is no like helmet mounts for the X3 though.
Yeah, there is.
Or there is. Okay, there is. Okay.
Yeah, you'll find that people have. Yeah, Rogue Lion just said Ulanzi mounts are awesome too. Ulanzi makes.
Yeah.
They work with the chin mount stuff. It's just a matter of the connecting it, because they sell like this is just the case for the 1RS, right? Mm-hmm. They make a case for the X3 that you can put on it for chin mounting on a helmet for POV view.
Okay.
I guess the other biggest question you have to ask yourself too, Nick, if you're going to mostly use it for motorcycle content from a standpoint of getting 360 footage of you riding, that's great. if you're mostly going to have it on a stick and stuff like that, unless you want 360, like if let's say you go to VAM and you want a 360 shot of the crowd, most cell phones these days have a better camera inside them than those do.
Yeah, that's one thing I saw about the Insta360s was a resolution. Was that you lose a little bit of resolution in the film versus like say a Hero 12 or something. But most, like when I publish my videos, they're all coming out in 1080p anyway.
That's
so
right.
Same.
I'm not putting stuff out in 4K or 8K or anything.
There's your key, because you can.
Everybody's watching it on this anyhow.
Right.
Likely.
Because I can tell you this: that the reason to be straight up, the reason why I went away from the GoPro, first of all, and I was looking at the GoPro Max as well, which freaking like El Buffalo uses the GoPro.
I use that too.
Yeah, so I was looking at that as well. The reason why I went with the Insta360 is because it's a newer, like by 2 years, newer model of the 360 than the GoPro was, and GoPro still to this day has hinted that they've got a new one coming out, but they still haven't said when.
Yeah.
So my biggest reason why is because after doing the video writing I've done so far, I'm kind of getting tired of having to have one facing me, have a separate camera facing me for my handlebar, having one on my helmet, and then being like this, because I got to keep your head on a swivel on a bike. You really do.
Yeah.
And I'll get people dizzy if they're trying to follow my line of sight from the helmet.
Yeah.
Whereas with the 360, I can just put it on my handlebar or mount it on the front of my bike somewhere, and I can cover the full gamut and move it around, and it easily shift the view during editing. It's easy.
And I've seen some of you guys, like you film like with the 360, that's the only camera you use. I think Mr. McStash said that might be one that he just strictly uses. And it just seems like it'd make it so much easier just to have one stinking camera do like everything. And, because I use it.
Andy does that. Yeah. That's absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I use a helmet cam, like with the GoPro 8 I have on there, but it's like you're taking off that, you're taking it out of the media mod, you're doing all that. And I've had these chin mount clips here. These break so many times. Like when I take those off, and
ditto.
Well, that's where I leave.
That is good.
I leave my GoPro 7 on my helmet. That's the only time I use that one. That's why I have an 8 that I carry in my saddlebags with a separate boom mic. And then I have the 360s always on my handlebars.
Yeah.
360 is hard to edit, but I'd like to have it where the 360 actually, you can Bluetooth communicate to it. And that's the thing with any of the GoPros, you can't Bluetooth to them anymore. However, with the new Insta and the new Cardo communicators, you can use your Cardo microphone with the Insta cameras now, the new ones. And that's what if I had money to invest in a whole new Cardo.
You took the 360 Pro, the new Ace.
The new the new Cardo communicator will communicate with the Insta cameras.
Really?
Yep.
That's cool.
And that's where if I had if I had $1,000 to throw down on cameras and communicators right now, that's the way I'd switch everything out. Or if I had a sponsor.
Need equipment sponsors.
Yeah, I'm glad Andy said One RS can be controlled through voice as well. Yeah, you can actually go on the settings and tell it. You can, you hear Blue Bike Doyle from Blue Bike and Bill. You hear him talking on his occasionally. He'll be biking and he'll say, "GoPro, stop recording." You'll hear him say that stuff. Yeah. One RS can do that as well. So it's.
Let's see. There's the. What is it? The not Cardo, the other communicator.
Senna.
Senna had the camera on it, and I can't stand the side helmet.
I'm the same way.
I can't stand it.
Yeah, same.
The biggest problem I have with my 360, and as Andy already alluded to, is I haven't edited anything in months because it hasn't been able to connect like the camera directly to my phone or to a tablet. so that I can edit on the spot and then save that and work that in post editing. Because you have to do kind of two. That's kind of the thing with the kickback on it is, number one, you're editing twice the footage because it's a 360. And the second thing is you're editing twice because after you've edited that, you put it into whatever editing software to add your touch and your, whatever your style of editing is. But
what do you use for audio, Toby? Like wireless, the Rode wireless, or
no? So McStash started me on this. I have it's a version of like the wireless, but I've got this. It's a no name. I got on Amazon. I've had it for a couple years now. And I've used it on just about everything I do now, and it works great. I just have to remember to turn the damn thing on.
Yeah, because like right now with my helmet mount, everything's mounted wired in my helmet.
Same.
Like the Purple Panda mic.
Purple Panda,
Yep.
If you mount a X3 or something to the handlebars, then I need to come up with some type of wireless mic solution.
So I have.
There's Comica too. I did a video on Comica.
So this piece here plugs into the USB port of the 361 RS.
Okay.
And then this cord plugs into one of those wireless transmitters.
Yeah.
Or receiver.
Yeah.
The receiver. And then I plug the other one into my helmet, and it's totally wireless. And those last all day. I've used one of those receiver transmitter setups all day riding, and it's never died on me during the middle of the day. Those batteries are awesome on that thing. And as you said, my biggest concern with me for having my Insta360 up on my bike like that is I prefer a clean setup. I cannot stand when I got wires going all over the place or they're flapping out there like crazy, or the receiver for the wireless mic is up there. And by nature of the wind that I'm riding, it's pushing it into the lens view of the 360 camera, right?
Yeah.
So it's me. It's just that's just one of my isms. So, but it's all about a clean setup for me.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to look like Doc Brown in Back to the Future, and that mind reading thing. Oh hell,
God.
I've done that before with a helmet. It's
yeah. One of the Canadian guys, or God, I can't think of his name right now. He has like the microphone here, the GoPro up here. He has another like Bluetooth setup hooked to this camera, and he's got like shit like all over his bike. Fuck. I can't think of his name right now. The beer's already kicked in. But yeah, he's got stuff all over his bike. And
a big surprise. Russia just finished their election, and Vladimir Putin won another 6-year term.
Really?
Election.
Yeah. Exactly.
Unsurprising news is unsurprising.
Right.
Yeah, the only reason I've been thinking about something else is I need to do a little bit more research. But now with Kristen and I riding together this year, we're probably going to want to do some dual vlogs. And my understanding is that the new GoPro Hero 12, keeping in mind that she doesn't have a camera yet, that it will automatically.
I know where you're going with this. Yeah.
It'll automatically take the stuff that comes in from my Cardo, from her Cardo to my Cardo into the video that either she's recording or I'm recording.
It can. I'm trying to remember who all it was.
I know Dave Percy from the 530 Bikers did a video on it some time ago.
Yep. He did, and when it first came out there was a couple of people. Pete's Moto Adventures did. There were probably 4 or 5, a handful of moto vloggers who use the 12 with earbuds or some variation of device based upon GoPro's claims, whether to see if they could do it. And at the time, I don't know if firmware issues have been fixed or whatever, but at the time,
Jarvis.
Jarvis did it too. Yeah. You're saying, yeah, he's the one with all the
Thanks,
gear.
Andy.
Yeah.
But but it has been, I think what the biggest thing was, if you forget the sequence of turn on one thing first, turn on the other thing next, start recording.
Which is going to be every ride for me.
Yeah.
But but that's the hard part about it. You're saying there were sometimes it's not consistent. So
right. Well, and as Chris said before, as long as we get you a camera, I mean, in post, I can take my footage and sound, your footage and sound. I can, it's going to take extra work, but I can separate the audio from the video and then splice where needed to, make it all.
That's exactly what I do with my dual vlogs when I'm riding with the wife. We both have our separate setups, and then I just line it up and
line up.
I mean, it sucks for editing, but it's really probably the cleanest.
And that's kind of what I was about to say. It just really goes down to every individual person, and they're editing what they prefer, what they do, their styles, what they're willing to commit time to. That's what it is.
Right. Yeah. If you had one solid audio piece, that's a whole section that you're not editing. You just have the audio together.
I know people that used to do that where they had just the audio recorder in their pocket to the mic and they just put that in over their video.
Yep.
I know Bearded Bobber used to do that.
Yep. They do the whole clap thing. They do the whole clap thing in the video.
Mike and Bird used to do that too.
Yep.
I don't know. I just think it blows my mind that all the technology we have these days that they can't just fix that. I mean, that should be something super stupid simple.
Yeah.
Wait. All the technology we have these days, and they can't fix that?
Where they can't make it to where it'll automatically.
You're talking about countries that can't get, elections right. That's a much bigger thing.
All the more.
I'm not messing with you.
No, I know, but all the more reason why it should. I mean, as the old saying goes, those of us that grew up in, the end of the Cold War era and all that, we could put a man on the moon, but we can't.
Yeah.
You imagine text messaging with a rotary dial phone.
Yeah, so we'll figure it out. I don't mind spending the extra time, and again, that's why beat myself up about it and all that. But that's one of the reasons why I haven't put out a video in like 9 or 10 months. I haven't felt the desire, and more importantly, I haven't had anything interesting to say. I mean, I have old footage from other
switching beers,
stuff like that, but I'm not going to put out content just for the sake of putting out content. I have no delusions that I mean, as I've always said, if the channel by some grace of God catches traction, I just want it to give back.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can get a sponsorship,
all it takes is one video.
I know, but I refuse to put out content just to say that I've done it. Andy, as always, thank you so much for stopping in, brother. Please be safe, heal up, all that good stuff, and hope to see you at some point this riding season, brother.
Yeah, let her keep you straight, man. Let her keep you straight.
Yeah.
My wife gets off of work in about 15 minutes, so I'm not far behind you, dude.
Shit, we still been on 4 hours. We're still coming up on 4 o'clock, so we started an hour early. And we've still been hanging out, so
yeah,
not bad. Let's say I don't mind. My wife's in Vegas, so she went on her Vegas trip with some of her friends.
No, you might be the only one to get this CDL, but Kristen's at Wegmans right now. So.
Oh yeah. I wish she had a Wegmans and a Sheetz closer to me. Wegmans is like half an hour or 40 minutes, depending on which direction I go. Sheetz is about 20 minutes. Yeah, I'm still waiting for them to start working on the one here. I might go work there.
Hey, Chris, John just showed up, man. Share the link and let him see if his obnoxious ass can join us.
Let me see. Oh wait, I got to make sure I share it in the right comments. Dumbass.
Speaking of which, going back to something we were talking about earlier, while CDL is working on that, we really and we know that Gordy is very, or Mr. G, if you're not familiar with his real first name, Gordy, he's very low tech. I mean, that's his like slogan.
Low tech but effective.
Yep. I've had questions from a lot of non-our circle. I mean, we all know them, but like not our inner circle. Who've actually asked about the dates of VAM, and is there like a website or a Facebook group or anything like that?
I think there will be a Facebook group, because last year his wife did one.
No, they asked me to help them set it up, and I helped them set up the one for last year. I didn't know, and then I've helped them. Me and most of you probably remember the first one we did that. It got dramatic because somebody wanted credit and claim it. Somebody wanted credit and all. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that. We'll just I've already gone into it too much by saying that. We'll just leave it at but they've been creating. They don't have one as far as that I've found when I did my searches, but
not yet.
But up until this year, they've created like an event page for every time.
Like Mr. G doesn't do a lot of stuff online. He does his video of like one shot on a camera.
And that's fine. And it's amazing that he's been able to get the turnout has gotten progressively better every year, given the fact that it's all been relatively low tech.
You know? What it is, it's word of mouth. Like I'll do videos. So it's word out.
Look, Mr. G is the epitome of the opposite side of road reality. And I'm not knocking John here just because you came on. No, seriously, because you came on, it's a great example because John has multiple cameras. He's got DaVinci Resolve, nice bike, whatever, and he spends time and investing and good time, quality time on doing his videos. And I watch them too. Your personality is unique and diamond in the rough, but compared
unique.
And I'm saying that with all love and respect. I mean, it's not a underhanded shot of any kind or anything. But
no, you know what this is? This is a mea culpa for smacking my wrist the other day on your workshop, and the one before where you warned Daniel Batal, Road Reality's going to come on and he's going to be a heckler in the slide chat.
We knew that before we even started the thing. We even told him that in the back room. So,
I know, and he commented on it, and he knows who I am.
But so the point is that Mr. G is the epitome of the other end of that. The guy makes videos, does word of mouth. Yeah. I mean, he has the camera set up where he got his phone right there on his chest for that POV view, and then he makes them and deletes them. I mean, it's you too, Dale. Be safe, man.
I would do that, but I burned through 2 batteries while I was out riding earlier. So, I can't put an hour and a half's worth of footage up there. Nobody will watch it.
No, I won't, dog. Dude, look, I was at my local Bluegrass here. I think it was at least a month ago. And I was talking, eventually I might do suspension on my bike. But I was praising up your video because you did a damn good job. And I know the hours of investment and time you spent in putting the cameras next to the wheels and all the side stuff and all the tracks.
That was fun.
I'm sure it was. But, like I said, I was telling some buddies of mine up at the dealership about the video you did about suspension, and I was like, y'all need to check it out because a guy did. He did some real work into comparison. So I mean,
that's the nerd side of me. I got to show how it's working to my brain and whoever's willing to watch that. This is how the different shocks react to bumps and stuff. So that was the whole genesis of it.
I mean, that's the funny thing is you call it the nerd in you, but that's the kind of stuff that any biker that has experience or has any knowledge or knows, hey, suspension is important. They would want to see that stuff to ride, to make that helps an educated guess or educated purchase.
Mm-hmm. All I have to say about that is stay tuned, because there's a lot more to come on that suspension and
that's what she said.
Tires and everything else, because I spent the whole winter chasing my tail, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
Yeah.
That hey, I chased her tail too. But there's so much going on in there, and being able to explain how it feels and the way the bike feels after the suspension was installed versus the stock stuff. And I think I've come to a realization of now I know 10 times more than I did 6 months ago about all this handling and stuff. And I just got back from a 2-hour ride where I forgot all about the suspension and tires, and I was just cooking it through some corners, having a good old time. And by cooking it, I mean I'm an electric range top compared to the gas burner that is Black Phoenix Entertainment.
Okay, we'll get you going on the tail of the dragon when you come down with us.
Yeah, I'll go tail of the dragon. Let me rent the slingshot for the day.
I've heard it's fun either way, no matter what you ride down there. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I'm going to make it down for the whole week, Ryan.
Oh no. We have
it's funny. We've been here. I've lived where I live. Elizabethtown, Kentucky is 5 hours, maybe 6 hours from Tail of the Dragon. I've never ridden it. I look forward to someday, but it is not the priority. I want to ride the Tail of the Dragon, but to me, it's just to say I did it.
That's all it is. Yeah. That's all it is.
I won't dog it, and I won't dog any road or travel I've done. I don't care what other people say, because every person is going to take away from it based upon their experience. But I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I think that's what everything lined up. It's like, with the timing and everything. It's like, we're going to be there. Let's bang it out, say that we did it, and we can move on.
Well, that's the thing too. Like they say, like the Tail of the Dragon is not worth just making a trip to do that.
Right.
Like if we could stay, like if say VAM wasn't happening, we stayed in Tennessee. There's all the Chihuahua Skyway. There's supposed to be the Moonshiner. There's like all kinds of rides. There's more rides than just the back of the Dragon down at VAM.
You could spend a week down there easily.
Oh yeah.
So say you can come up here and do the taint of the Dragon. That's about 1 mile. 1 mile of curves.
I'm a certified dive master. I mean, I haven't been in the water in like 15 years, but people used to ask me all the time, "Oh, you're a diver?"
20 years for me, Derek.
You ever been to 200 feet? And I'm like,
no, go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm not. Hey, Mr. G, what's up?
We were just talking about him. His ears must have been.
Dude, your ears must have been burning. We were just praising, singing your praises, dude. Singing your praises.
Water looks the same at 200 feet as it does at 20. If there's something I want to see, like there's a wreck or something that happens to be at
maybe in New York, maybe in the river in New York, the water looks the same. It ain't that same way in the south, in the Caribbean.
I was talking about the Caribbean, actually.
Oh God!
It looks worse when you get deeper because it gets darker, brother.
Yeah, well, 200 feet, there's difference between 200, but you're down to 130, 150. That's still beautiful.
Oh, of course. My point being is, I'm not just going to go somewhere like. To put it back into motorcycle terms, I'm not going to do an iron butt just to say I've done an iron butt. If I got somewhere I need to go and I need to get there in a hurry, and doing an iron butt is going to help me do that, then I may do that.
Well, that's what Kylie did. That's why she did it. That's so damn funny you say that, because those who don't know, she, like, before we did the damn world record poker run, right? This was in 21. On her bike, she said, her mindset, the way she thinks, the functionality and everything that she does, she's thinking, okay, we're going to ride from Kentucky down to Florida and hit the world record poker run, whatever. She says, I'm going to cross over this particular mileage mark for my service while we're gone. So let me do an iron butt before we leave so I can cross it and get it done with it and have it done before we go. And what do you know? While we're out, she crossed over the other mileage marker because we went almost 3,600 miles in one trip. So, or no, it was the poker run was 3,600 miles, but we still did the ride down to Florida and then the ride back from Sturgis, which was almost 1,500 right there by itself. So we're doing 2,500 miles outside of the world record poker run. But that's the kind of functionality. That's like you said, Derek. That's her thought process.
It's synthetic oil. You never have to change it. Just run it 100,000 miles. You're good.
Yeah.
Plastic dinosaurs.
Well, at the time she was under. She was and still is now because we renewed it. But she was under the prepaid service VIP program for the dealership. Mm-hmm. So. It's the mileage thing. As long as you're within 100 miles or so, whatever the mileage marker for the service, they'll still honor it.
You don't have to sign up for those VIP programs. Just walk in with a GoPro and say, "I'm a world famous YouTuber. Service my bike now."
Last time I tried that, I said, "Do you know who Road Reality is?" And they said, "No."
My name is Blockhead.
And it still cost you $100.
Yeah.
Before Blockhead had his reveal of who his face was, you could have walked into any dealership. Yeah, I'm Blockhead.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
As long as you had similar build, I mean.
Yeah.
Throttle Fiend, it's funny you say that because I walked into the dealership yesterday that put the tires on my bike a few months ago. And I saw this service guy walk in, and he sees me. He looks over, and he goes, "Hey, John, how's the bike running?" And I was like, wait, this service tech that I talked to for 20 minutes 3 months ago has worked on hundreds of bikes since, remembers me? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Right.
How often do you use your credit card at that dealership?
I use my credit card every time I go to any dealership.
So they remember the ching.
Yeah, that's what they remember.
Yeah, the service tech doesn't remember that. And hell, they did the install. It was $45 a tire. It was cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got you say that. I've got the things that Hogworks switched out for me is I went and they sent me, they have got highway pegs that I got to put on. Mm-hmm. But they also they're sending, for those of you that have the saddlebag latch lids on your bikes, they've got the color matched kind. So I was like, okay, I'll do those for free, So they're going to color matching those things. I'm going to switch out the chrome ones that came on the bike. The little details.
I don't have any upgrades on my bike planned. Just adding to the odometer as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm still doing stuff. We were talking about maintenance stuff before the trip. That's something that I got to do. So doing the clutch kit, I got to change the CVT belt, which will get me to the mileage. But then I got to make sure oil change, brakes. Definitely going to need another rear tire before I head out down that way. So
CVT build. That just sounds anachronistic to anything performance.
Yeah.
Well, the belt only lasts like what they're claiming is like 10 to 12,000 miles, which I'm sure there's a great. That's just for safety.
You just need to go call Nissan. Go call Nissan, Ryan. Get yourself a CVT out of a Maxima. It can handle 300 horsepower.
Well, I do have an upgraded belt ready to go for what I'm doing, so I don't know if it's going to extend them, mileage.
That's what I need.
Belt.
I need the extended belt.
Yeah.
Sans a belt.
I'm going to suspenders.
Derek, where did you all book at? Where'd you book? What hotel?
We went with Super 8 Claypool because that's where everybody else was staying. We're going to do Holiday Inn Express because we have points like you do. I mean, we don't have anywhere near what you guys have as far as points, but everybody else was staying at the Claypool Super 8, and you've got the McDonald's right next door. You got the pizza joint literally right around the corner, which is the best pizza I've ever had outside of New York. So
there's a hot dog place down there too I want to check out at some point.
Sure.
Since we didn't really get to do much at the
Hillbilly hot dog, yeah, because they were closing as we showed up.
Well, yeah, hillbilly hot. Like I said, yeah, hillbilly hot dogs was like 70 miles. Yeah, we got to check out some hot dogs. Well, we got to go to the All the Way In too. We need to get pictures at the All the Way In.
Yeah, we got to go and like actually stop there.
Don't forget to leave the tip at the All the Way In.
We'll stop at the hotel or the restaurant right next.
Yeah, what did you name the restaurant? I forgot.
We had the All the Way In hotel, and I'm gonna have to go to our chat and look. We had a name for the restaurant too.
Wasn't it just the Tip Cafe?
Something like that.
Oh, yeah, I know, Mr. G. I know a lot of people are staying at Fincastle. We just chose the Super 8 because that's where I stayed in 2021 when I was there. And actually, to kind of backtrack a little bit, we were singing your praises and all that about how awesome VAM has become since the first one in 2021. I've actually had people who are not in our general Venn diagram of friends, circle of friends, that have actually asked about VAM because they're interested, and they're like, is there like a website or a group thing on Facebook or whatever? Me personally, I'm all about supporting local businesses, and I know that each year VAM helps out your area with people coming in and spending money there. So if I can get more people there to spend more money to help out Tazewell and the surrounding area, I'm all about it. So that's the plus.
I didn't bring any money to VAM. I spunked with Ryan. I took his room over. I didn't bring any money. Brought my own food and water and everything. I will say though, the Fincastle had the best coffee. I went out every morning and filled up both tumblers from their big coffee pots in the office. It was awesome. I drank coffee all day long, every day. It was great. That might have been why I got dehydrated and fatigued.
Probably.
Most of the coffee, yeah.
That was the best part of the ride because you were quiet.
Well, coffee is a diuretic.
Oh, yeah.
And a diuretic.
Not at my level.
So, John, I know you said you won't be able to be there for the whole week. Are you going to be at VAM for any stretch of time?
I'm planning on it.
Okay. No, it's just because I'm old. I forget shit. I can't tell you what I had for breakfast this morning. I don't think we've officially met in person. And
we haven't.
Okay. If we get a chance to, I would love to be able to, brother.
Yeah. We changed the name of the diner. The diner name was Pull Out Diner. So you had
Pull Out Diner.
Yeah. So we had the All the Way In hotel and the Pull Out Diner.
And then just the Tip liquor store, right?
Yeah. Liquor in the front, poker in the rear.
Poker, hardly even know her.
Motion detected at the front door.
Front door, hell, I tried to back door.
Just remember to spend well and tip well.
Yeah, just the tip though. I don't pay for the rest, just the tip.
I'll be right back.
Well, we know what you get then.
Yeah, it's my turn to go use the
pot. You guys were like talking about money and stuff. The most on that trip, and I'm coming from the furthest way, is probably gas and like the hotels. Like I don't feel like I bring cash with me for food, and I feel like I'm not spending, all that.
I think my total spend for the whole trip last year was under $300.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, well, yeah. If I take out like the hotels and stuff, that's probably what it was.
Oh, that was including the hotels.
Oh.
Damn.
My hotel was only $210 for the 3 nights, and then gas was like 5 fill ups, so call it $80, $100, and then whatever meals we had, they were $15-$20 a pop. So
right, that's what.
I mean, I went to the Food Lion and I got Gatorade and water the first night there, so I spent about $12, and then that was it, man. I brought snack bars, so I had breakfast, and then we bought lunch and dinner, and that was it. It's not an expensive trip.
Yeah, now that those Walmarts are there, you go there first day, stock up. You got everything in the hotel now.
Yeah, it was easy, man. And I was actually surprised. I was expecting $400 for the hotel, but I looked it up because I only booked the hotel room like 2 weeks prior, and it was $70 a night. Done. I think it was $237 with taxes and fees and stuff.
Yeah, and you guys are obviously a lot closer, but for as far as I travel, it's not that bad for what I'm spending for the trip.
No.
Well, to me, I mean, obviously we all have budgets and bills to pay and shit
I
like
don't.
that, but
I don't have a budget. I got all that sweet YouTube cash, man. I just spend it on trips.
See you, Mr. G. Thanks,
Mr. G. Thanks for stopping in as always, brother.
Thank you.
Take care, Mr. G. Yeah, that's why I'm, here in the dungeon.
Yeah, I'm this actually the Fiend Ford is actually a fruit cellar in the basement of my house. So
this is the glassed-in porch on the back of the house.
Oh, nice. Where are you?
In Maryland, north of DC.
Whereabouts in Maryland?
In Maryland, north of DC.
Okay, if you don't want to give the actual town list, no, I'm familiar with the area. That's why I'm asking.
Central Maryland.
Okay, all right.
I got to keep it a secret. Not that you could, watch all my videos and figure out where I live. I've had 3 people listen. I've had 3 people comment on various videos. Like, I think I could follow you home based on the street signs visible in your videos. So I'm like, very careful not to give out that information.
I don't blame you. I had one video years ago before I broke my wrist, and there was a guy that had been following me and all that, and he's like, I had stopped at a certain stoplight that was red, and he's like, "Oh, you're right near me," and we just got talking. Come to find out, he literally lives the next street over from me, and he rides. So yep. we occasionally go on rides together.
Well, that's me and Ironborn Rider. He goes. He lives like 5 minutes away or something, and we ride fairly frequently now together. And yeah, I see in his videos, I see all the time. Yep, I've been there. There's not a lot of motovloggers that live that local to me. There's I think there's 4 now, and one of them's a young lady that only has half an arm, and she rides a Rebel. I forget what size Rebel it is, but it's automatic, and she's got a prosthetic.
It's got to be the 1100, because the 1100 is the only one that has the DCT, because that's what my wife has. She has a Rebel 1100 DCT.
Yeah. And it's pretty cool. I watch her videos. I'm like, oh, I know that road.
Yeah,
yeah, it's an awesome bike.
When I first started out, there was actually another motovlogger that lived like a couple minutes away from me. And we rode together a couple times, but he quit doing YouTube. He pretty much doesn't do anything on Instagram or anything anymore. I know he's still around, but shit, he was building the trike with his dad and shit too for a while, and he just quit altogether.
Yeah, YouTube's a waste of time.
Yeah, it is. So, yeah, you get paid money, but shit, you get fucking spend more buying tech and.
Dude, I think my ROI is 2047. Yeah, it's bad. Between all the cameras, I got like $7,000 tied up in this stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I usually sell a camera on eBay before I buy the next camera.
No, I just add it to the next year's big test.
Yeah.
Like I had the video 6 months ago, right? Where I had 5 GoPros on the bike at once, and I used my phone and the Sony, and this year I'll have the Nikon in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you say that with the Nikon. It's like I've got the Sony that ZV or ZE, whatever, the ZV-1.
ZD?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the Italian one?
The ZV-1, but that's what you're looking at here. That's the only reason I use it. I don't like carrying any big clunky camera around.
Yep.
And I get it, John. You do a great use of with yours. I know.
You need a camera bag.
I saw your last video.
It's not
you need a camera bag. Link in bio. It's a Caden. $35 on Amazon.
It's not exactly the bag, John. It's the weight of the camera and all that when you're like trying to get shots.
So let me ask you this:
unless you're putting it on a
let me ask you this, John. So did you bring that camera bag with that camera and all your other cameras to the van you went to last summer?
No. I brought the Sony and I stuffed it in the tour pack organizer.
My point, and I'm not knocking it. I mean, people like Full Throttle Hog and probably Adam Sandoval and some others probably do, but it's just it's an adjustment. If you're going to bring that much gear, you have to make that adjustment in your packing for a long road trip. I've done it, and
you lost me at organizer.
You have to decide when you are traveling. Okay, so now imagine this: from going from Maryland to Sturgis, you're packing for the day, the number of clothes and all that stuff. You can show me every camera in your arsenal. It's fine. What I'm saying is, I don't need to see your sticks. But I mean, everybody, and you know this too, because from riding the van, you have to make adjustments. You have to decide what is important and what's not, and what content you can create with what you bring, because you're stuck with that, So
yeah, I probably won't bring the Nikon with me to VAM.
Yeah.
I'll just stuff this Sony in the tour pack organizer. It's got a little pocket on the side, and I'll be good there. I mean, hell, last year I recorded 164 minutes of footage across all the cameras I brought.
Well, that's why what CDL just held up, because I take this, and I use this for all my main picture taking.
Well, the phone works. I just don't like using it.
Yeah, I use the phone for the off the bike stuff. It's easy.
Yeah, sometimes it's easier.
And just again, we were talking about the quality of the cameras on the phones is just as good as anything else.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I said I bought the X3 before the Route 66 trip last year, and I spent most of my time. I bought a $5 or $10 plastic turn to close it down clamp on it from Amazon, and I end up using that for most of my out of the car, because I didn't ride, unfortunately, footage.
You want to make your phone easier to use? The Alonzi selfie stick comes with a phone holder, and it packs light. It's small, but it can extend and work as a tripod. So this bit of kit goes with all the trips.
Sometimes I'm small, but I end up like a tripod. Go figure.
Here's what I use.
I leave 3 tracks in the sand.
This is the Insta360 selfie stick. It also expands.
Yeah.
It also has the tripod on the bottom, but I use, this is also Ulanzi, but it has an adjustable on the bottom and on the back. So I use that for my cell phone.
Yeah.
Well, I want to.
We can all just start pulling out our selfie sticks and measure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Let me whip this out.
Yeah, since we're comparing sticks.
Nick's like, on that note.
Yeah.
Nick's like, I've got a puppy to feed.
Yeah, actually, I do.
No worries. No, I need to take off too. Wife just got home, so
same.
Oh no.
Spend some quality time with her and my selfie stick. So
it's good talking to y'all. Y'all have a nice evening.
You as well.
See you, Nick.
See ya.
Take care.
Okay, I know how to clear out a room, don't I?
Yeah.
No.
Whip out my stick and everybody
dog
leave.
has you beat.
That dog's cute. I give it that.
We were playing spades last night with our mom, with my mom up at her place, and oh my God, that dog was like she said she fed him broccoli a couple nights back or something.
Oh boy.
Doctor's recommendation for health wise, and it's like, good God.
Whose health?
Right.
Yeah, right.
I could smell that comment.
Right.
Oh.
That's what she said.
I don't even like eating broccoli for that reason, man. I love broccoli, but I can't imagine giving it to a dog.
Oh yeah, it's bad. It's bad. My mom gives the dogs table scraps when she's there, when she's at our house or we're at her house, and the flatulence from that is just fantastically stinky and it just drives me nuts. The only saving grace is our newest dog likes to eat paper, especially napkins, paper towels, anything you leave around. Last night we came home from being out and he had knocked over my drink glass, spilled my ice and water everywhere. It was in the basement and he tore up 3 paper towels and 2 napkins that were left on the kitchen table. I was like, you son of a... Oh my God, I'm going to strangle you.
And he's whose dog?
My dog.
Yeah.
My dog is the destroyer of worlds and paper. And, his favorite thing to chew is the sleeves of the lactose intolerance pills, and they're foil lined. So my wife is like, well, I found your sleeve of pill that within the backyard. The dog pooped it out. I'm like, great. How'd you know? It was freaking shiny.
Ooh. I know exactly what you're talking about. Those lactate pills, because we're all severely lactose intolerant here too.
You have shiny poops too?
Sometimes.
No, you take them out of the foil to take the pills.
No poop glitter.
Y'all have a good one. Y'all ride safe. If
all right.
Permits you to.
Yeah.
Take care.
Derek, you shoot me a text, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Will do. All right, brothers. Later.
Yeah, what are we going on? 3 hours now?
Oh, there goes.
Yeah, we're over 3.5. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's probably about that time.
We've been starting this an hour early. So.
Yeah, you're starting it during prime motorcycle time for me. When you wake up at 11 on a Sunday, you're out riding by 1.
Yeah, I get up at 6:30, 7 o'clock.
That's regardless. Yeah.
No, I'm up till 2 or 3, so I don't get up till 10 or 11.
Well, I was up till 1, and I still had to get up at 7 to do shit.
Oh,
do shit?
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you have kids. They gotta be places and do things.
No, dude. Okay, let me tell you. My kids are young, right? They're under 10, and my mom said, "Hey, I want to pick the boys up and spend the day with them." So that was yesterday, and we said, "Fine, pick them up at 10." We told the boys the night before, "Grandma's coming at 10. Be dressed before then." And sure as shit, they showed up. She showed up, and the kids were dressed, ready to go, had their shoes on and everything. Wife and I hadn't even gotten out of bed yet.
Nice.
Yeah, I suppose we've been on almost 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I should probably check on my family.
Yeah.
Check on a friend.
Yeah, I'm working on my 3rd beer, so pretty good. I'll probably continue to work on that and probably pick out some Legos to do for the rest of the day.
I'm working on my 3rd coffee.
I should probably eat real food too, so instead of just my.
I got chicken that I threw in the crock pot this morning with a bunch of seasoning on it.
Don't choke it.
Yeah, I'll probably choke that later too. The wife's out of town, so this thing ain't jerking itself. So
on that note,
all right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. There's only 3 of us left, and it's still as perverse as 6 people. So,
well, I'm 4 of them.
Yeah. Happy St. Patrick's Day, anyone that gives a shit. I don't think anybody really did. I'll probably.
All right, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I'll probably be feeling real good in about another hour or so.
There you go.
I don't have to go very far, just upstairs. But thanks everybody that tuned in this time. We only got 4 people left, so we might as well leave now before we're at 0.
It's probably us. Where's my camera? There we go. There's my camera.